Welcome you guys all today. I realize every single day you must understand who I am. I understand I'm a life coach. I'm also somebody who improves their health every single day. I understand every single day I make sure I come here into Marketplace every single day, and I make sure to come and do my nice beautiful program, which is life coaching and teaching you something about life. I understand I'm 28 years of age. I understand that either way I'm somebody who experienced a lot in my life, and I'm still experiencing a lot. I understand every single day I make sure I'm always better than yesterday. I understand that when I do something very important, I understand that my age is right now. I understand that I'm something much more than numbers. I understand I'm I today. I'm much more than number 28. I'm much more than number 1. I understand that I first is something that you must really understand what that is. You have to understand every single day. I make sure to come and perform and do my nice beautiful public speaking event because I understand communication skills. I understand that giving a nice beautiful knowledge in terms of your life is your story. You have to give your story. So you have to give that knowledge about your story every single day, which is why I always show up in Marketplace, and also understanding that I do busking around Sydney because I do something for myself so I can grow. I understand every single time I grow, I make sure I'm always performing and outperforming myself every single day, because what's important is understanding that you have something much better to do than what you're doing today. I promise you, there's something much better to do than what you're doing right now. I understand it's making a better product. I understand that anybody who wants to make a better product today is somebody who wants to be something greater. I understand when I want to be something greater every single day, I go and give everybody attention. I understand when I give you attention, I give you some audio techniques, I give you some knowledge every day. I understand every single day I give you some knowledge because I understand business techniques. I understand something that's very important. I understand it's called communication skills every single day. I understand I must improve on that every single day. Although I understand that when I listen to Lewis Howes or Tony Robbins or all these nice beautiful coaches in the world, I understand I learn something about everything in terms of life. I understand every single day I'm always learning about something, about attitude and how to grace myself much greater. I understand I never judge anybody. I understand when I look at somebody who has a poor image, I understand I just make sure to lift them up. I understand that when I lifted people, I realize when I lift people up and when I'm lifting people and when I lifted, I understand I go into my eye. I say I love you. I understand that communication skills is something very important, but understanding where you're coming from in terms of where you're coming from and what are you coming from. Otherwise you're coming from yourself. You have to understand every single day you must come here into yourself. You must understand to say I love you in the mirror with yourself every single day, because that's called self-love. I understand when I do that daily, I do it differently, so I make sure I'm always improving upon those skills every single day. I understand when I do that as a public speaker, I understand I always understand something greater. I understand I can rap as a public speaker, I can do some singing as a public speaker, I can do whatever I want. I understand that communication rules the world. I understand if you cannot communicate, you have to learn how. I understand when I learn how to communicate, I give more knowledge. I understand when I give more knowledge, I get greater. I become a greater legacy, because those who give always will receive more. I understand those who are giving daily are the ones who are supposed to, actually never supposed to, but they must be giving that knowledge every single day to become somebody much greater, because there's something much more to do than cutting hair, and there's something much more to do than playing sport, and there's much more to do than being a president. I promise you that it's called information in terms of making your life much better than yesterday in terms of your eye. You have to understand every single day I go provide that knowledge. I give that knowledge every single day because I understand how to grow. I understand through communication skills I grow every single day. I make sure every single day to give that knowledge, because when I give that knowledge daily, I become something much more than yesterday. I understand when I give myself attention right now to be able to speak, I understand I go and speak what my heart is. I speak that communication skill every single day. I speak the growth in I every single day. I understand every single day I always have to understand to speak differently, because different communication means different life, and a different life means a new life. So understand never go the way of the same path in life. You have to understand you must be making a new progress. You must be making new habits today to understand something much more than yesterday. I understand every single day I'm understanding more and more about how to live life. I understand how to live life more when I give you knowledge about how to do so, because if I don't give you anything, otherwise that's not blessed. Otherwise it's not blessed to give you nothing. I must give you something for your time. So I give you that nice beautiful audio that you need every single day. I give you that nice beautiful motivation and techniques and all the business skill that you ever need, because I understand entrepreneurship and leadership and how to really understand what's great. I understand greatness is knowledge. So anybody who can understand to read more and give more of that knowledge daily is always going to find out how to really develop all relationships, because relationships in terms of marriage with another human being or with yourself or whatever, you understand that growth is the key to your success. Understand every single day that growth is the only number one solution which is communication. You have to understand, you must communicate, you must understand that every single day that when I talk very loud and clear, so I understand that I'm always more successful when I'm more loud. I understand when I'm more successful, when I'm more loud, I understand my silence speaks louder than words about how much more successful I am. I understand I'm just making sure I level myself today and become better than myself, because I understand that most people are lazy. I understand they've got nothing to do but be with their friends. I understand I have no friends except I today, because I understand my true friends will never come with I anywhere across the world, because I understand that I just lift them. You understand? I understand when I lift them, I understand they want to go to drug addicts today. I understand either way that I am not a drug addict. I never do any type of drugs anymore. I used to do a lot of drugs before. I understand it's not the way to go. I understand caffeine is something in the outside world as well, which is something that's not really going to help you move forward either. I understand caffeine, in terms of the Red Bulls and all the V's and all the coffee, does not help you grow. I understand that what fulfills you in life must be knowledge. I understand knowledge is the number one solution of life, and those who do knowledge work every single day are called life coaches, and also knowledge brokers, and ones who actually help you to improve your I. I understand when you understand your I, you understand I love you. I understand every single day I improve that nice, beautiful communication skill. Every single day, I make sure every single day to go and play some new music that I've never heard before. I understand when I do that, I play music that I made. I play music that I made. I listen to my music that I made. I make sure every single day I go create those mashups. I go create those nice, beautiful rap. I create the nice, beautiful rapping material that I do every single day. I make sure I inspire people through my nice, beautiful audio every single day in a different manner. I make sure I inspire people through music and through life coaching and through who I am in life. I understand when you look at my Instagram, you'll be inspired straight away. You'll understand every single day that I go into my Instagram, I post 60 photos of myself in my feed. I understand I post 100 photos in my story in Instagram every single day. I love myself so much, I'll post 100 photos of myself on Instagram every single day. I understand that's what you have to do. You have to understand you have to take more photos of yourself. You have to invest in more photos of yourself. But anything that's called now is I. I understand anybody who comes back to the I every single day and to communicate every single day with their fellow men and women. You understand? Every single day you must communicate with everybody. I understand I communicate with men today. I communicate with women today. I understand either way, just make sure that you're mature. I understand when you're mature, you understand you're emotionally developed. You understand? Or else when you go and emotionally develop yourself every single day, you understand your I. You understand why it's so important to mature every single day. Because I don't need you at 60 years of age to go, or else I don't need you to be very immature. You understand? Or else I see many people at 80 years of age, drug addicts. Or else they're drug addicts. I understand when they're drug addicts, I realize they're talking in a way that it's just really poor image. Or else they're talking like, you understand me, bro? Or else you got the crack cocaine, bro? You understand, bro? You understand? Or else that's not the way to talk, and it's not the way to be at 60 years of age and 50 years of age. You get it? Or else when you want to communicate much better, you have to understand to start developing that communication through communication in terms of your knowledge that you have right now. You have to give it. You have to give that knowledge. But you have to do it in a journal every single day. I understand that when you are communicating every single day in a positive way, you go back to the I. I understand I is something that's really going to lift you daily. I understand anything that's an I today is something inspiring. You understand? Or else that I has an inspiring word into it. I understand I is the first letter of inspiring. I is the first letter of integrity. I is the first letter of an idea. You must be an idea today. You must be integrity. You must be inspiring. You must understand that anything that's really intentional today is also an idea. I understand when I become here in terms of my life, I come here because I intentionality myself to do so. I realize every single day I'm always intentional about what I do. I understand I always make sure that what's an accident today is something that is I. I understand I'm an accident today, I'm everything. I understand either way, I make sure to grow every single day, whether or not I like it or not. I understand either way that I love to grow, and thankfully I'm very fortunate to be able to have all this knowledge, because I have unlimited knowledge. I have unlimited to give you. I have so much knowledge to give you every single day that I'm so passionate that I come here in marketplace and I start to perform. Or else when I perform, I just perform. I make sure I achieve the 1 hour first in terms of my video, and I upload it online every single day into my YouTube and Instagram. I understand that you have to understand me every single day. I always have something to give. I understand when I give you something very nice, otherwise I'll give you the knowledge. I give you the knowledge that you need to be more inspirational in your life. I understand everybody needs some motivation in life. I understand I'm a motivation for my life. I understand when I motivate my life, you actually listen to myself right now. You're listening to me and how I motivate myself every single day. Understand that by my tones, you must be motivated because I'm motivated by my tone. I'm motivated because I'm here today to public speak for I today. I'm here to give some knowledge for myself today. I understand when I give you knowledge, and when I give you food, and when I give you drink, and when I help you to satisfy your hunger for success, I understand I actually do it for myself even more. I understand whatever I give you, I always have in return. But I understand that the richest people in the world right now are the ones who are giving more knowledge, and not the ones that are going to the stock market, because the stock market doesn't make you rich. I understand that what makes you rich is giving. Or else what you're giving is not plastic money, you're not giving big coins, you're not giving paychecks, you're giving paychecks in knowledge. You're just giving them knowledge for free. Because knowledge is the best commodity, and knowledge is the best business in the world. I understand that whatever passion you have today, or else it must be knowledge. I understand that whatever passion you have today, right now, or else you have a passion. Or else that passion is knowledge, and not sports. Or else it's what's behind the sport, knowledge. I understand that if you like skateboarding, or else it's because of the knowledge about skateboarding. Or else you like the knowledge and not the skateboard. Or else you love the knowledge about the skateboard. Or else the knowledge is something that you're passionate about and not the skateboard. I understand when you understand that, you get that knowledge and then you go teach it. Or else everything that you're knowledgeable about, you must understand that whatever you love, you must understand to teach that. You have to understand what that is every single day. Or else anybody who teaches something that they love to do is passionate about that knowledge. I'm passionate about life. Or else how much knowledge does life have? I have all that knowledge to talk about. I love to do, for example, anything that's vegan as well. I love to talk about veganism. I love to talk about health. I love to talk about Jesus. I love to talk about religion. I love to talk about culture. I love all these massive topics. I love to talk about negativity. I love to talk about positivity. I love to talk about confidence. I love to talk about discipline. I love to talk about abundance and richness and being a millionaire and mindset and entrepreneur and leadership and public speaking. I love all those subjects. Every single day. I love the times tables. I love to speak about the times tables and about family and about what's happening around the world. I love to speak up. I understand when I speak up, I like to develop that communication, because that's why I'm here today, because I'm very confident in my communication. I understand that many people don't have that ability to actually stand up in front of a crowd and to start teaching. And why is that? Because they're not writing in their journal. I promise you that if you're not public speaking today, you don't have a journal. You don't have a journal that you write in. I write in my journal. I write in a journal, I write and write and write. I understand I'll have my phone, I have a notes pad, I just write all day long. I just write all day long about my life. Or else that's why I'm here public speaking. I have a journal. I write everything down. I plan everything down. I have over 31,000 quotes, you can go and check it out. I have over 600 videos in my nice, beautiful, actual YouTube channel where I have over 600 hours of content I can give you right now because I communicate. Or else in 10 years time, I'll have 20,000 hours. Or else in 20 years time, I'll have 50,000 hours of video to help you. I understand that's called success every single day. I understand every single day I go and success more myself because I'll give you that knowledge that you need. I understand knowledge is a commodity and it always raises in the stock market. I understand anything that's a stock market today must be being better than yesterday. I understand when you're being better than yesterday, you understand why you're the best version of yourself. You look the greatest aspect of yourself. You have all the money in the world. You have all the kids in the world. You have all the women in the world. You have all the men in the world. You have everything in the world when you have knowledge. You have Jesus Christ as well when you have knowledge. I promise you that anybody who doesn't have knowledge looks like a homeless man. I understand they actually look like drug addicts too, because they don't educate themselves about the drugs that they take. Or else that somebody gives them some ice in their mouth, such as I before, and guess what? Or else they lick it, and they suck it, and then they eat it, because that's what I did. You understand? A drug addict came to me before and said, "You want some ice?" I said, "Yeah." Or else the guy just comes into my mouth and he puts a spoon in my mouth. I started to eat the ice. You understand? Or else that didn't feel good. But guess what? I was very high that night. Or else I was very high. I didn't even remember much about that night. I realized I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing to give knowledge. I wasn't giving anything that night. I was just taking some alcohol. You understand? Or else now, there's a big difference between then and now. Or else that was 7 years ago. I understand now it's different. I've been sober and off the list of drugs for 7 years now. I understand I'm now much more developed. I'm much more better than yesterday because I understand something. I understand that sobriety is the way to go if you want to live longer. I understand if you want to take ice all day long, otherwise it's because you don't understand some knowledge, which is I. I understand you have to know yourself. You have to know the I. You have to understand to be more into life and knowledge instead of the pleasure, because the pleasure won't make you anything, or else the pleasure will make you fat. I understand food and drink is pleasure, so the more you eat, or else the more fat you are. I understand the more you eat pleasure, or else if you go having sex with women all day, or else you become so thick and skinny and you start looking very sick. You understand? I mean, when you're looking thick, I realize that you're really looking sick. You understand? I realize they take away your energy. I realize that by the time you go to have sex with a woman, you have to go 1 hour over there, and then you have to do it all night, and then you didn't help anybody. I realize, does that make you more of a man? I mean, how does that make you more of a man? I mean, Jesus doesn't have sex with women, man. I realize that Jesus comes and helps and teaches you something like I am today. I realize that's something professional. I understand I can go have sex, I can give $200 and I can get a threesome. I realize it's very easy to get sex, man. I realize it's very easy, but that's easy work. I promise you that what is the best work is growth. I realize that sex doesn't grow you. I realize sex with other people doesn't grow you. I realize food and drink doesn't grow you. I realize that food and drink is like having sex with other people. I realize it's the same thing. I understand anytime you feel dopamine, I realize that's like having sex. I realize I'm feeling a lot of dopamine. I'm feeling right now a lot of dopamine because I have so many people looking at me. I realize that's a thrill. I realize that's exhilarating when you're looking at me. I love it. I love it every single day. I understand every single day I have that connection. I have the connection to really understand development every single day. I understand when I have looks of the crowd, I realize that's something that I love. I love the spotlight. I understand when I have the spotlight daily, I realize I'm something much more. I realize, look at my height, man. You can public speak too. I can public speak. You can do it. I say everybody can do it. I realize that it doesn't matter how tall you are, man. I realize it doesn't matter how short you are either. I realize a little midget can public speak. I realize a little baby can public speak. You understand? I realize everybody can public speak in life. You understand? Or else you think you're so big in life, I mean, come and teach me something in life. Or else when you think you're so big, or else when you think you're so good, I mean, come and teach us something in life. I understand when you've got nothing to teach, I understand who you are then. You understand? Or else it doesn't matter how tall you are and how big your dick is. You understand? Or else what matters is how much knowledge you're giving. You understand? I understand the women love big dicks. I understand I'll give you so much knowledge though. Or else that guy will give you a big dick. I'll give you the most knowledge in the world. You understand? I will promise you that's the biggest dick in the world. You understand? I promise you I'll give you all the knowledge you ever need to succeed. I promise you that dick will not give you anything. You understand? I promise you I'll give you everything. I promise you I'll give you the knowledge. You understand? Because it's not about my dick. Or else it's about knowledge that I give you. You understand? Or else it's not about pleasure points. I understand a woman tells me that she wants a 1 centimeter bigger muscle to go for me. Or you want me to develop my muscle for 1 centimeter more so you can accept me? Or else I say, get out of my life. I understand, I don't need you. I don't need you. You can go find somebody else. I understand every single day, I don't need a woman. I don't need anybody else to live my life. I can go and live it in the knowledge that I give. I give knowledge every single day. I'm always making sure I got more to say in terms of I have more to say because I understand financial literacy is called economics, and when you understand economics, you understand why you need to be financially literate in your life to understand what that is. Understand it's really understanding knowledge about everything. Understand when you want to boost your finances, you have to boost your health. You have to boost and understand the habits in your life and boost that attitude of yours. Understand it's really understanding to learn more. You have to learn more about the passion of your life every single day. You have to learn how to grow. You have to learn how to go and travel around the world for free. But the ones that are giving more knowledge are the ones doing so. Understand if you want to do that, or else it's really easy to do 2 hours a day of public speaking and start doing that for the next 72 years on the street. I promise you, you'll make it. I promise you. Although it's 2 hours every single day. I understand I have to stand here 1 hour every single day, and sometimes I do an extra hour. Sometimes. I understand either way that for the past 12 days I've been doing 2 to 4 hours and 2 to 6 hours of really knowledge in terms of my life where I can give that knowledge and understand every single day there's always something more to say. I understand there's always something more to do. I understand that what's important is growth. I understand that when I give knowledge, I understand that it's a long term. I understand, for example, when there's accommodation, for example, and it's $21 a night or something like that for a 1 night bedroom. I understand either way. You calculate $21 times 365 times 72 years. I promise you, what is the total number? Because that's how you calculate finances. You don't calculate finances just by today. You calculate everything over the long term. I understand everything that I say today is spiritual. I understand everything today is more Jesus quality every single day. I understand every single day I always have more to say because entrepreneurship is something of leadership. And those who understand mathematics of life also understand leadership in the knowledge that they give. Because anybody who's poor today does not have knowledge to give in front of a camera, and they don't show themselves in front of a camera. I love myself so much, I go on my Instagram, I put 100 photos of myself on Instagram every single day because I have something to give. I have my face to give today. I understand that when every single day I go perform, I understand it's raining as well. I Understand either way, understand that I just make sure I'm always performing. I'm performing in a better way. I'm using that nice, beautiful personal development I have. But the interest of life is making sure that you come and check out my YouTube channel. I have over 600 hours of video content every single day, performing in front of a crowd and making sure that everybody has that knowledge that they need. You can find me at Danny Milivojevic Instagram. Understand either way that I just make sure that I'm always performing one way or another, because what's important daily is understanding that either way, you must grow. You must grow and understand thyself daily, because sometimes it rains even when I give knowledge. Understand when it rains when I give knowledge, understand I just make sure to just go and be proactive about myself and understand that either way that I'll go and perform something much beautiful, because either way, I understand that God's saying that it's raining today. I understand either way that I'm making sure that everybody is going to be accountable. I thank you very much. I thank you. I understand either way that you just must be someone much more positive in your life. I understand either way, just make sure that you're just growing up. And I also have to pack up. I have to pack up now. I understand either way. I can pause this video and continue, guys. I understand either way that you're watching me right now, but I understand it's raining over here. I realize it just started to rain. I understand either way that it sometimes happens, but just grow yourself and know your I. I understand you guys are watching me now because I connected my video together from the nice beautiful street performance I have. Although I understand either way that it started to rain and here I am now continuing my work, because I understand I stopped at 21 minutes, but guess what? I understand I have to finish my hour. I understand I have to finish that goal of mine, because every single day I look for a nice beautiful opportunity every single day to go and do something like a public speaking event around the world, anywhere. So I understand that if people don't invite me, I don't need them to invite me. I understand I can always do my content with or without them. I understand that what's important is I give you the nice beautiful message every single day to grow and to make sure that you're a leader. You have to be making sure every single day that you're going to really develop your communication, because every single day of every single minute and of every single moment, I'm on my own. Otherwise, there's no biological dad around me, and it's only just my biological dad in terms of my other family in Australia. Otherwise, it's just I and my biological dad here in terms of my relatives and my family. You have to understand everybody else is overseas in terms of Germany and Austria and Serbia and Uruguay. You have to understand they're all spread out across the world. But guess what? I understand that what's important today is you understand I'm alone. I have no girlfriend. I have no wife. I have no kids. You understand? And what's the plan with that? Or else the plan with that is understand I never need kids. I never need a woman. I don't need to chase them. Because what I chase is information. I chase to give you information as quickly as possible so that or else there's no war going on. I understand that more women can actually see me at the top of my game. And then I understand this way I can attract a woman really easily who's actually even higher status. You understand? Because why? Because I'm not chasing women now. I'm delaying gratification. I'm delaying the kids. I'm delaying the woman. I'm delaying people altogether except for I. I'm delaying all of them. I'm delaying friends in terms of other people, in terms of friends. I have no friends except I today. I don't hang around anybody. You understand? And why is that? Otherwise, it's because I don't want to be the crowd. I don't want to go nightclubbing. I don't want to go chase women, because that's what they're doing. I understand the past crowd though. I understand they're all going to do drugs today. I understand they're all going somewhere where it's always the same place and it's the same people and it's boring. Otherwise, they always have some new singer or something like that. Otherwise, that's boring. Otherwise, it's a Serbian community. Otherwise, I don't need to be around them. You understand? Otherwise, they go to kafana nights, which is a disco in terms of a Serbian nights where they have drugs and alcohol and it's a nighttime and it's all dark inside and they're just sitting around. Otherwise, that's not the place I need to be in. So I remove myself from that situation altogether, because I understand that I have something better to do. I have a Nick Vujicic type of lifestyle, or Nikola Tesla type of lifestyle, or Albert Einstein type of lifestyle, and Jesus lifestyle. You have to understand I'm giving that knowledge, because those are the people that you have to go also inspire yourself with. I understand when I go give knowledge daily, I make sure I go become more. And when I become more, I go and give more knowledge. I understand when I'm giving more knowledge every single day, I understand I'm always richer. I understand that when I look at you, I look at the first aspect of life, and that is how much have you given? And the first aspect of life is understanding that. I understand that when you are worse than yesterday, otherwise you're not giving much. I understand that when you're better than yesterday, I understand you're giving a lot. Although if you start talking to me without the IUQ rule involved, and you forget your I in your conversation, I understand you're very fake with me, and you don't really love me. You understand? You don't really love me because you want some information on how to help yourself. I understand that. I understand you have love in that kind of realm, but you don't have really love like I understand it. I understand when you're not speaking like I am today with the IUQ rule, I understand many people, such as Paris Hilton, for example, may go, yeah, I mean, what's that? I mean that's not an IUQ rule. I mean, don't say yeah as your first word. You say the I.
or else anything that's not a first word as an I, or a you, or a question, is also something fake. I understand when Kim Kardashian's talking about Paris Hilton and she's saying something without the IUQ rule involved, and she's going, this woman here really helped me, and then Paris Hilton's like, yeah. I mean, what? I mean, why do you have to understand to say yeah about that you helped her? Or else you have to understand that it's really just understand to have the credit, but realize you say, I thank you for that. You don't have to say yeah, because yeah is not I. Understand either way, understand that's a fake communication signal. You understand? Although I love Paris Hilton, I understand she's a very massive role model in terms of her language, so she goes out and promotes herself as much as she can. I mean, or else she goes and promotes herself as much as she can. You have to go and promote yourself as much as you can. But guess what? Or else when you go on Paris Hilton's nice, beautiful Instagram, I went on her highlights, or else her highlights, or else it took me 1 hour to go through it. I mean, she gave me so many ideas about how it is to be famous and how it is in the famous world. I understand it's not that good, you understand, because what's good about fame is when you understand how to grow. I understand when you don't know how to grow, I understand then you will understand what I mean. You have to understand, you have to know the I. I understand, I don't know how to grow, but I know my I. I know my I, and that's all I have to know to really grow. I just know the I, because how many words in the dictionary do you have to know? I mean, there are many words, but guess what? You don't know all those words except for the I. I mean, I is the only word in the dictionary that you must know, and that's it. I mean, that's the art of communication. I mean, that's how you actually become a public speaker. I mean, that's how you really boost your that's how you really boost your communication skills, because if you know the whole dictionary, you'll never learn it. You get it? I go into the dictionary and I say, in the Bible and all the words of the life, I understand I is the only word I know. I is the only word I know, because everything else I don't know, because I want to learn more. You understand? I just know my I love you. You understand? Alright, now, you have to understand every single day I'm making sure that I go perform. I understand it started raining, and now, out of nowhere, I understand God says, today is going to rain, but guess what? I need you to go and do a nice performance anywhere else, because today is just not the day for your street performance. I understand either way, I love God. I understand either way that God's going to throw some challenges at you, because guess what? I realize this life is a challenge. Or is it really? I understand either way, you must understand that everything must be better than yesterday. You don't have to look at life as a challenge, or else it can be very effective, or else life can be confident, or else life can be excellent, or else life can be straightforward, or else life can be simple, or else life can be minimal, or else life can be anything, but life can also be I understand every single day I'm always making sure that I go and develop that nice, beautiful communication signal I have, because I understand that when sympathy is involved, I understand people who are sympathetic or show sympathy never really give you much, or else they feel sorry for you and they don't give you information to help your life. I mean, they're going to say, go to the 9 to 5, like everybody else. Or else that's my biological mother. I understand she goes and tells me that I don't do nothing. I do something. I do something on YouTube to help my communication skills and legacy grow, because she doesn't see how to do that. I understand she doesn't do her nice, beautiful language in life. I understand she goes and communicates as much as she can, although realize this, although she's not doing as much as I understand the difference is here between I and everybody else is I have more knowledge to give than them. I work on myself more than them. Whereas when you give more knowledge than the one who is next to you, you understand you're more successful. I understand either way. I understand many guys around the world are going around and having sex with all these women, and they're very beautiful women. I understand that I wish I can have that. Although guess what? I understand that I have something better than that. I have knowledge. I have more knowledge than them. I'm more fulfilled in terms of my knowledge. I have more knowledge to give. I understand when I have more knowledge to give, I'm always developing that communication, and then I have a greater legacy. I have something on the spotlight. I have people watching me. I have a nice, beautiful attitude. I don't have to chase the pussy. I don't have to chase women all around. I mean, imagine me just chasing a woman. I'll never even do this video anymore. I would never even have time to help you anymore. You understand? Or else what do? I make sure I stay away from the woman as much as I can, because I understand it's not about chasing the pussy, cuz. I understand it's not about chasing the dick. Or else it's not about chasing pleasure, you understand? I understand it's not about eating food all day long. Or else that's what most guys are doing. And most women. Or else they're just eating food all day long. Or else what kind of food? Or else the pleasure food. I understand the pleasure in terms of food and drink is also sex with other people. And it's also drugs with other people and drugs with themselves. Or else they're taking all these medications and pills and prescription drugs and drugs and illegal drugs and legal drugs. And then on top of that, I realize they're doing drugs and trying to chase women for more pleasure. And then once they're doing that, I realize they go to KFC and McDonald's and they're trying to eat all this unhealthy food to get more pleasure. And then they become ugly. Because the three types of pleasures is sex with other people, I can say it's drugs, and I can say it's food and drink. Understand? Otherwise, it's a pleasure that you can have with other people is the first type of pleasure. And then pleasure in terms of drugs, and then pleasure in terms of food and drink. I mean, what other pleasure is there? I mean, pleasure with yourself. I mean, if you're pleasuring yourself, I mean, you have to go and teach it. You have to teach how you do that. You understand? Because it's not about masturbating all day long either. Whereas if I just masturbate all day long, I mean, am I doing this video? Whereas that's doing nothing. Whereas masturbation is nothing. Whereas it doesn't help you. Whereas anything that doesn't help another individual, you have to understand, is nothing. Whereas if I go having sex with all these women and men, you have to understand, either way, I am not bisexual, although if you go having sex with all these women and men, whereas you're not teaching me anything. Whereas if I go having sex with all these women, whereas I have no time to teach you nothing. Whereas that's called nothing. I understand I'm not nothing, I'm something. I understand when I go and do something much more, whereas I can also understand that you ladies out there, whereas if I go and have sex with all these men, I mean, how does that work? I mean, how does that work? I understand I have no time to teach you that. Whereas now, I'm not gay, I never chase women, I never chase men. I only chase I chase my dreams. I chase my dreams. And what are my dreams? Whereas my only dream is to give you more knowledge. I mean, that's simple and it's straightforward. I is my only dream. I is my only vision. I go where I need to go. I only see I just see my eye. I understand when I say I love you, I mean that kind of eye, I just go that way. I go towards giving you that knowledge that you need, because I understand that many people from the past, in terms of those people who grew up with me, are not successful right now. They're not successful as I am. I have over 100 hours in terms of being in front of a crowd, in terms of over 104 hours of being in front of a crowd that I've really counted. I understand every single day I'm doing much more than them. I have 600 hours of video content on YouTube right now to help you. Whereas that didn't even start. You understand? I realized that didn't even start that knowledge. Well, I have 600 hours of video content and more to give you about communication. Whereas that didn't even start YouTube channel. Whereas they don't even start their own personal Instagram. I understand that. I understand I've got 12,000 photos of myself on Instagram. Whereas they didn't even start that. I mean, they didn't even start taking photos of themselves on Instagram like I am today. You have to go look at my Instagram and start doing it yourself. Or else go do your own version. And say, I post 10 photos per post. I mean, how many posts do you post a day? I post 6. I post 60 photos of myself on my Instagram feed. I mean, how many photos do you post on your Instagram feed about yourself and your image? I post 60 because I do 60 posts. I do 6 posts, which is 10 photos each, is 60 posts of my photos in 6 posts. You understand? And then I add another extra 40 photos in my Instagram story. And every time you come on my Instagram story, I have 100 photos going on by. I mean, new photos every single day. You understand? I can always make sure I can go and upload new photos. I mean, I always go do something new. You understand? Otherwise, if I have to use the same photo as before, I mean, why not? Otherwise, a different crowd's going to watch it anyway. You understand? I just make sure to go the new way and keep posting new content all the time. I make sure every single day that I go and do nice, beautiful branding photos. I go give money to go travel 5 hours so that I can get a nice, beautiful background to have a beautiful fashion show. You understand? Because that's how my Instagram looks. I understand I go travel to all these places and I use a background. I just go and see a nice, beautiful background. I have a beautiful background over there too. I understand either way, what's the background? Or does this background here? I'll go choose one background that I like and I just brand myself there with different clothing. I understand it's very simple to do, but many people are not doing it. Why? Because they lack confidence, or else they lack ability to be able to go and take a photo of themselves. Or else they're still ape town, or else they're still cavemen and women. Understand? Or else the new fashion is your face. Or else if you're not fashion modeling your face and your actual body, and you're not happy about your body, you'll never take a photo of yourself, and you'll never be on video again. Or else if you're not happy with your voice, you never sing. Or else if you're not happy with yourself, you never show yourself in the world. You never expose yourself there. I understand that many porn stars today, I understand they go around having sex a lot. You understand? Otherwise, that's not the way, because they die at 40. They die at 40. Approach they burn out and nobody loves them. Approach they'll get on the drugs. Approach they get on the drugs and fuck. And that's it. Approach, is that the lifestyle? I mean, what are they teaching you? Approach, nothing. Approach, they give you nothing. Approach, it's all selfish. You understand? I mean, how does that guy deserve more women than me when I give you 600 hours of video content and he gives you nothing? I give you more. I deserve that. I deserve that too. You know what I'm saying? I just have that. I have that right now. I have all the sex in the world right now when I give you that knowledge every single day. I'm saying when I give you the knowledge every single day, I'm much more fulfilled in my life in terms of my eye. I'm saying I go back to the eye every single day, but I make sure every single day I'm going to do something, everything in terms of every single day I do everything I can to go and label that communication in a different way so I can go and develop it. I'm saying when I develop that communication skill differently, I understand I go and change it up as much as I can. I adapt as fast as I can. I go and make decisions ahead of time. I understand already what I'm doing for New Year's. I understand I'm growing myself. I understand I'll be better than yesterday. I understand I'm doing I understand my schedule. I have a schedule. I can do that schedule for the rest of my life. Although I have to better that schedule. I mean, what is that schedule? I realize it's called my habits. I have certain requirements I have to do every single day. I have to be at a street performance every single day. I just walked 30 minutes to get to my street performance, and then I set up for another 15 minutes, and then guess what? I realize 21 minutes in, it starts to rain. I realize it's not raining now. I said, oh well, I'm not going to go pack up and go to the street performance now. Well, I understand I go when I need to go. I realize I still have a lot of time to go. I'm still interested to go. Although today, because I packed up, I realize I'll never go to the same spot again because it stopped raining. I'm saying when it rains the first time, I just leave because there's no going back. I say I will not stop this video to go do a street performance now. I understand either way that the time now is 6. I understand 6 is now. I realize 6 is I. I understand I is number 1. I is actually I. Although I understand number 1 is I. You understand? I understand I've got to simplify those numbers into I as quickly as possible because I understand communication skills is something very important. I understand I have an epiphany that no matter what, every single time I learn something about audio. I listen to conversations with Lewis Howes and somebody else who he may have as a guest on his show, or Tim Ferriss, or any type of audio. I grab the audio, I realize they're talking about something, I start talking about what they're talking about in my journal. And I start to really dwell in that kind of communication. So when I speak to you like this, you go and write your journal based on my communication and go make your own wording about it and what you really believe. Because every single day I have to be writing something to grow. I have to be writing actual words on my actual journal to be able to teach you. I can teach you at any time. I can just get out my phone right now. I can get my Samsung A20 Galaxy, which is, I gave $230 to get this phone, so I can teach something. I have a notes journal. I give $230 just to have a journal in here. I mean, just to use one application. I'll give $230 just to use one application, and that's it on this phone. I mean, why? Because that application helps me so much to teach you at any time of the day. I just go write my story and what's going on around me in my journal. I have a notes electronic phone where I have a keypad or a keyboard, and I start typing and I write a book with that PDF. I post one every single day on my Mega Drive. I invest $200 and $30. I understand. I invest more than $230 to just be able to do that. I understand many people need an iPhone to go on Facebook. I mean, why do you need Facebook? I realize their goal is to go on Facebook. I mean, what a goal, huh? I mean, why is your goal to go on Facebook? I mean, why isn't your goal to go on Facebook and help people? I mean, they just want to go on Facebook. I mean, they want the best phone to go on Facebook. I mean, wow. I mean, there's no help there. I mean, they just want to help themselves to go on Facebook. I want to go on Facebook to help you. Oh, that's different. I never need Facebook. I don't even use Facebook. I use Instagram. Or else my phone over here can go on Instagram too. I can go on YouTube with this phone. I read on YouTube. I catch up with my mentors on this YouTube account. I have 30 videos and more coming up a day. Because my mentors are always teaching me something. I understand I go and write something on my notepad. I understand I go and put some MP3. I've got an MP3 player in here. I have an iPod Nano. I realize an iPod Nano is what they call it. Although iPod is with iPhone and Apple. Although iPod Nano is an MP3 player. I have an MP3 application. I'm a music producer. I've got to listen to my nice, beautiful tones. You understand? Whereas that $230 can get me a lot in terms of life. Although understand, I make all the money in the world. I have all the money in the world when I go and help you every single day to get what you need. Because as Zig Ziglar says, you help people get what they want, you will eventually get what you want. Because what you want is a great legacy. You need great communication skills. You need leadership. You need to be able to speak. You need to be able to public speak. I understand that nobody helps me to public speak. I help myself. I realize nobody helps me to write down anything. I realize nobody helps me to deliver my life for me. I realize nobody helps me walk throughout life. I realize everybody gives me knowledge, but I have to evacuate in terms of get the knowledge and take action, because they're not going to do it for me. I have to start doing much more than yesterday. I have to understand that every single day I must do much more on my video. I must make sure that every single day I show up for a street performance and make sure that I'm succeeding much more. I have to, because it's serious. I have to be serious about growth. I understand my growth is my business. I understand I is my business. I go where I am. I go where I am. I go every single day to realize something. I understand that every time I evacuate my systems, I go and grow. I go and make sure every single day I go do something very positive, because you have to understand, to be lost in the moment is to teach something. You have to understand, if you want to improve, you have to be in the moment. You have to do it now. Or else you have to be in the moment now. I realize that if you want to be in the moment now, or else information is the best way. So start giving that information and you'll be in the moment much more. Or else now you have to be giving something to be in the moment. Or else you have to be giving something to be more in reality to achieve your dreams. Or else when you're more in reality to achieve your dreams daily, you understand you have to give something. You have to give your heart. You have to give your knowledge. I understand this time around, I understand I have a nice beautiful spot here where I can come and do my nice beautiful production, no matter what. I realize it's not raining, although here I have a light as well. I understand I can go and do this video for 1 hour. I understand 2 hours is something that's not my goal, although I understand 1 hour is my goal. I achieve my 1 hour, I can go. Understand? Because what's important is I go and do my knowledge every single day. I understand that I outperform my mentors. I outperform them. You have to outperform me every single day. You have to do more than me. You have to do more than me to be more successful. Well, that's how it is. I realize if you want to be the most successful human being in the planet, you have to do the most. You have to help the world the most. You have to brand yourself the most. You have to promote yourself the most. You have to sell yourself the most. You have to convince people of yourself the most. You have to persuade people of yourself the most. You have to pitch people the most. You have to talk to them the most. You have to speak up the most. You understand? I always have to speak up. I have to make sure that either way I'm doing something very important. I make sure that every single day I'm teaching something for nothing. I make sure every single day I go and do an idea. I give the idea. I just keep it going. I keep it talking. I keep it talking it out of me because of my I. I understand when I go and do that, I always make sure I go back into I, because I understand where my house is. I is my house. I is everything. I go into my IEQ rule. I make sure every single day I communicate that nice beautiful language every single day, because I understand what's important is making sure that you have the knowledge and courage today to make sure that I go do better. I understand I never touch my microphone when it's really recording something. I just make sure that when you have a Rode microphone or a microphone that you plug into your nice beautiful phone to do a nice beautiful program, it's worth it, because there's a nice beautiful fur ball or a head on the microphone. When the wind blows, I realize when the wind blows, the nice beautiful microphone won't shh, otherwise you will never hear the actual nice beautiful wind. Or I understand it's not good for the sound quality. So I understand to get yourself a proper microphone where that wind doesn't show up in your nice beautiful audio, which is why you hear me so much better now than before. Because before I didn't have a microphone, I didn't have knowledge about microphones. I have to go eventually understand, to be interested more about microphones and everything about life, because I understand curiosity in terms of life is key. I understand when I go and be more interesting about life, I have to go learn more. I have to go teach myself all the tricks about the world. I have to go teach myself all these tips. I have to get all the tips and I have to start doing it. I have to be a researcher on how to really succeed. I have to go do it alone. I realize that nobody's going to help me to succeed. You have to understand that nobody's going to help you public speak for you. Or there's nobody's going to help you get up in front of a crowd for you. I've been in front of a crowd over 70 times now. I understand either way that I go and perform much more. I have to perform much more. I have to do much more. I have to understand to give you much more. I understand when I give you much more, I'm always richer. I understand that rich aspects of life give. I understand I'm more successful than the crowd before me, because I understand I used to be in the crowd. I understand that crowd doesn't give you nothing. I understand they're not there to see you. I realize they're never there to see you. You understand? Or else they never came for you. Or else they came for their selfish reasons. Or else they came for selfish reasons, because they don't give anything. Or else they give minimal knowledge. Or else they give you a little bit. Or there's nothing on video. Or there's nothing to teach you on video like I am today. Or else they have no videos of themselves. I mean, that kind of knowledge they give. Or else they give knowledge where they'll never ever put themselves on a video for 1 hour to teach you. I mean, that kind of knowledge. I mean, they have a knowledge about them where they never ever want to teach you nothing. Or else they just want to teach themselves something, but never to teach you. I want to teach myself everything and teach you everything. You understand? Because those are the ones that are rich. I understand Tony Robbins is 61 and around 61 today. I understand he's very famous and also very successful because over the course of his lifetime, I realize from 18 years of age to 61 and around 61 today, I understand he's been doing life coaching and giving information for free. And giving it for free, although now, I understand he charges for the information on some places. I realize now he puts it on Spotify and then Spotify charges him and he gives it to you for free. Understand? I realize he gives you the knowledge for free. Yeah. I realize either way, he gives you a lot of knowledge on YouTube for free. I realize now his seminars and all that is, you have to give him money. You have to give him money for that. Although understand that you can create free seminars today, you don't have to charge people in the first place. I understand that charging people is a barrier. Or as soon as you have to charge people for something, or as people have no plastic money to give you, or as they have knowledge to give you, or they understand that you never charge people in the first place, or as I never need you to go charge people for your seminars. I understand that when you charge people for your seminars and what you do, or as that most people never come see you because they can never afford even $10 a day. You understand? Or as 80% of the world cannot even see you. You understand? Or as now, what's the important deal here is understand the fame. Understand the fortune, which is giving more knowledge. Don't worry about the fame. Don't worry about the legacy. Don't worry about how much plastic money you have. Don't worry about how much outside world materials you have. Don't worry about the Ferrari. You have better than Ferrari when you're giving all this nice, beautiful knowledge to help people. Honestly, it's much more that you understand that you're going to boost your attitude, you're going to develop your habits, and you're going to become something great. And you're going to have all these talents, and you're going to be happier because I give you 1 million hours of videos. You give 1 million hours of videos. That's more than a real estate. That's more than all the wealth that you can give. Everything in terms of knowledge that you give is much more than the portable speaker and the microphone and the phone and anybody else. It's the knowledge that helps you. Or else that's what you have to be giving. So the more you give that knowledge daily, the better your habits and the better your legacy and the better everything. Or else the better your popularity. And so realize every single day to go and give for free. I understand I went through many challenges throughout life. I understand now I have no challenges anymore because I understand that my challenges is what? I have no challenges except I'm just make sure to grow. I don't even consider growth a challenge anymore. Otherwise, it's so easy to grow today. Otherwise, it's so easy to grow. I have no challenges, I have no obstacles in life. I'm just successful. I'm more successful because I push the content. I push it and I can do it now forever. I can create music differently forever now. I understand how good it feels to be able to make all the music tracks in the world that you ever want. How good does that feel? How good does that feel when you can stand up in front of everybody and speak? That's excellent. That's excellent when you can go on a nice beautiful stage and 50 billion people are watching you. And you can just stand up and be natural. That's electrifying. Everybody's looking at you. And you're famous. And you're great. And you have helped the whole world in some manner. That's beautiful, huh? That's more than a Ferrari. And that's more than all the sex in the world. That's more than everything, man. I say man, I say woman too. Or else that's more than everything, woman. I understand either way, it's not about the food and drink. It's about learning about the food and drink. Or else it's not about eating. Or else it's about learning how to eat. Or else it's not about the plastic money. Or else it's about how to make the plastic money. Or else it's learning about the plastic money and not taking it. Or else it's not about, or else it's about receiving as well. Understand, although, realize this. Or else it's not about anything other than learning. If you're going to go to somebody, you go to them to learn something. You don't go to them to just be around them. You understand? I used to do that. I used to go around people just to be with them and hang out. Or that's not a life. There's no life there. Or as many teenagers today go and smoke bombs and they go around soccer and all these sports teams just to hang out and play soccer. Or there's nothing there. There's no leadership. There's no anything. Or it's like coffee. You stay away from coffee. You stay away from the plastic money. Because guess what? Plastic money is not something that's fortunate. Anything in the outside world is not fortunate. You understand? Whereas what's fortunate is inside. Whereas inside is the world you must live in. Whereas it's not about me coming with you to be on your bed and just sit with you and not talk. That's what most people are doing. You have to understand, although, realize this. Realize that if I come on your bed today, I come there to teach you something today. I come there to make sure you teach me something. But most people will go on that bed and they'll sit down and just talk about other people. And then, or else they may understand some knowledge here and there and talk about knowledge, but it's not quick enough. Because that most people go around other people to just hang around and not teach people. Or as they teach something in their communication all the time. I realize as soon as even a little kid may say mama or dada, they're learning. Although they're teaching you something about their words. Understand? Although guess what? I realize if you want to learn the fastest, you have to be alone. You cannot be with the crowd. You cannot be with other people. Whereas it doesn't work like that. Whereas if you want to be legacy and you want to have a great legacy, you have to be alone. You cannot be with other people because they take away too much of your time. I realize that when a kid or anybody, in terms of your daughter or son or a baby, goes and says mama and tata, or else it's not mama and tata, I see tata, I see mama. Or else teach them to say the I, because the I is so important. Or else they miss the I completely. And some kids go mama, and then the actual mum goes mama. Or else how stupid is that? Or she's even more stupid. You understand? Because she's not teaching the kid anything. Or else she's copycat the baby. Now, understand either way that everybody's a baby. I never need you to believe that you're an adult. I never need you to believe that you are a kid. Or else you're not a kid, you're not an adult, you're not an adolescent, you're not old, you're young, and you are a baby. You're a young baby, you understand? Or else that's how you must understand life. You must understand life as a young baby. You must understand how it feels when you came into the world. I mean, what did you do? I mean, you're very curious. You're running around and you're very interested about life. I mean, why were you interested? Because you want to learn. I mean, you have to get yourself into that state again. Because most people grow up and they become 50 and they don't want to learn anymore. Or else they're old now. Or else they're very old. You understand? Because there is some truth to being old and it's not learning at all. Or else it's not really pushing yourself to learn and grow. You understand? I understand every single day I go and focus upon what I say because nothing else is important. I understand what I say is what goes. You understand? Because that's the knowledge that I give you. I understand the knowledge that I give you, and the more you speak up that knowledge, or else the more you live that knowledge. You have to live that knowledge daily. But understand that the more you speak out, or else the more of a leader you are. Or else the more you actually make music, or else the more you can make music. Understand the more you speak in the front, or else the more you speak in front of a crowd and on camera, or else the more you can do it. Understand the more you can actually be successful and grow, or else the more you can be successful and grow. Understand, the more you can walk life, or else the more you can walk life. Or else it's just that simple. But understand that most people are wasting time and just want to hang around. Or else there's no time to watch a 2-hour film on Netflix. I watch in 2 hours on Netflix, I watch 50 films and 100 films and 200 films. Easily. You understand? I watch 200 films per 2 hours. Or else, I mean, how? I mean, one person is watching, one divine being. I mean, everybody's a divine being. I mean, everybody usually today goes on Netflix and they watch a 2-hour film. When they have time to watch a 2-hour film, you have time to watch a 2-hour film. I have time to watch in 2 hours. I have time to watch 1,000 films on Netflix. I just go for it quickly. I watch the images quickly. I mean, it's the images that I need. I don't need the audio. Or else one image is one idea. Or else this image is an idea. Okay? Or else this image is one idea. So when I watch 1 billion images, I have 1 billion ideas. Or else now Netflix is good for that. I understand. I just go through Netflix really quickly with the nice beautiful thumbnail. Or else that wrestling, for example, I used to watch wrestling. I used to watch a lot of wrestling. I still watch wrestling, but now I do it faster. I just get the thumbnail and I'll watch the whole match quickly. I watch the whole match quickly. I don't have to watch 20 minutes of the match. I just watch really quickly what happened in the images of life in terms of the YouTube channel, or as they post a nice beautiful 20-minute match in the WWE in terms of their YouTube channel, and AEW right now, or as the AEW and Impact Wrestling, and also there is WWE. I understand it used to be WCW too. I understand either way. I understand I'm just much better now. I understand now I just go and watch that nice beautiful image. I can see the whole match. I mean, interesting. I mean, it's interesting to see the images. Whereas when I go and watch a 2-hour film of something that you've watched already, in terms of a film, I just watch the images really quickly. Whereas you watched it for 1 hour or 2 hours, I watched it in 1 minute. I mean, it's the images that you remember from the film. I mean, what do you remember from the audio from the film? I mean, all that you may remember from the audio is maybe something inspirational in terms of a motivational quote, or something funny that happened in terms of an image, or in terms of something that was said that's funny. And that's it. I mean, that's what that's it. I mean, is that what you learn? But the images, you learn forever. I mean, the images, I remember every single image from every single Jackie Chan film I ever watched. You understand? I remember all the images. I can see Jackie Chan, really. I can see Jean-Claude Van Damme in every single one of those films. I see Steven Seagal, I see Arnold Schwarzenegger in all those films because I watch the images really quickly. You understand? I can remember the actual scenes. I can see the images because the images are imprinted in my mind, set. Understand? That's what I do. Or is that when I do a nice beautiful 6-hour seminar, I rewatch the whole video. I will rewatch my whole 6-hour seminar. And how do I do that? I just watch the images from 6 hours of my nice beautiful sound, or that's my seminar. That's 6 hours and 20 minutes on the public street in terms of my public speaking performance. I did it once on the public speaking performance in my busking career. I understand that either way I went on the street, I did a street performance for 6 hours and 20 minutes and more. I understand I repeated that. I go and watch it again. I go and see the images of the whole day. And it's just me moving around. I'm just moving around and talking to some people. And that's that. Or else the whole 6 hours and 20 minutes and more, I watched in less than a minute. I understand that's very beautiful when you can watch 6 hours and 20 minutes of just images to see how it was. I never have to watch the images 6 hours and 20 minutes of my life and more. I just watch it in less than a minute. You get it? Because that's how you speed read. You speed read like that. And that's how you watch films today. And that's why I have Netflix and I give $10 a month to go watch any cartoons in the world. I watch any cartoons, I watch any TV shows really quickly. I watch Sonic today. I realize Sonic is a cartoon show. I love Sonic. I understand they make cartoons today and new cartoons and new movies and I catch up. I understand Fat Pizza's coming out now. I understand I'll go watch it really quickly. I'll watch the whole 9 seasons of anything. I watch all the nice, I watched How I Met Your Mother and Star Trek and also The Friends. I understand I watched Will Smith's one in terms of all the nice beautiful seasons there. I watched all these seasons of the Vikings and everything and Kim Kardashian's and everything. I watched it really quickly. Understand? I remember all the images of all they're doing in terms of the images. I understand what they're doing. I don't need the words, I can see the images. Otherwise, images is all you need about life. Otherwise, if I just point 50 billion images at you, you understand life about 50 billion times. You understand? Otherwise, if I give you infinite images in life, you understand I never need to speak to you ever again. Because you understand you understand all the images. I understand that's the newest way to learn today. I understand that's why I go learn like that. Although my audio system right here, you have to go through it. You have to go through the whole audio. Because my audio teaches you more than any other TV show on the planet. Whereas my audio right here will teach you better than any cinema movie today. Whereas my audio will teach you more. Because I teach you life. I teach you business. I teach you everything right now. Whereas those audios are not for you in terms of the cinema ones. Whereas they are doing it for themselves. Whereas when they say, you went to his house? I mean, why did you go to his house? I mean, they say, they went to eat a sausage. I mean, does that teach you anything? That doesn't teach you nothing. I mean, that just teaches that they went to eat a sausage. What does that teach you about business and life? Nothing. Or does they make conversations in the TV shows and they say, why did you go and take away your pants? Otherwise, she was looking at me. Or else, ha ha ha. Big deal. What? Understand that you never say she was looking at me in the first place. You say, I understand she was looking at me. Now, guess what they're doing there? Or else they're actually pointing you to go have sex with other people. You understand? Because they're saying that you are miserable and then you must understand to go and have sex with other people so you can be happy. And that's what they're teaching you in that scene. Although I'm teaching you, never pull your pants down in front of a woman or a man so you can have sex with them because you look desperate. I see it, I understand that. Although make them pull your pants down. And then just understand, either way, that sex is not the way to go either. And teach your wife or husband that sex, long term, is not going to help us. You understand? After you turn 40 and 50 and you can have, or else you can always have anything. Although most women after 45, or else they can never have kids anymore. Or else it's not about the sex anymore. You understand? Or else once you get married, or else it's nice and beautiful, you have sex, to have a kid. You have some kids, whatever, or else whatever. Understand whatever means now, and it means I. Although understand after 45, or as many guys and women are really going at it. What are you going at? What are you doing? You believe sex with your wife or husband is much more important than teaching me something? That's how arrogant you are. you believe that having sex with your husband or wife is much more important than teaching me about life. I mean, how about the love, Danny? I mean, the love, I mean, come and teach me something. I mean, come and teach me about life. I mean, teach your husband about life. I mean, teach something about life. I mean, you believe that sex with other people is love? Or actually, sex with other people is not love? Or actually, that sex with other people is pleasure? Or actually, anybody who loves pleasure is a drug addict? Or actually, now, if you just go around having sex only in terms of life, you understand why you're not teaching anybody, and you understand why you've lost all this time, and you understand why you grow old, and you understand why life kicks you down. Because who's really kicking you down? You. You chose to go around the prostitutes and the strippers to get some pleasure, because you're chasing pleasure. Although never chase pleasure, because it's the same thing as a fat man who loves to chase the cake, to eat the cake every day, to get fatter and uglier. Whereas pleasure makes you ugly. And having sex with your wife and husband after 45, I mean, understand me now. Or else it doesn't really go. Or else now, either way, you have to understand that in later age, in terms of now, or else everything is now, or else everything is I. Understand either way, you must come back to the I. But from 40 to 130, it's about teaching people how to grow up. Or else it's not about having sex with other people. Or else at 80 years of age, are you going to be chasing around the world and go to Spain to have all the sex with all the women and men in the brothel, and then go to China at 80 years of age to go have sex with all the women and men in the world, and then go to Japan into everyone's house and have sex with their wives and husbands, and then go to Serbia to find out all them in terms of how they look like up down there? I mean, come on, grow up. I mean, grow up. You understand? I mean, you have to understand that at 80 years of age, or else it's not about sex with other people anymore. Or else it's about teaching people now how to grow up. Or else it's about personal development. Or else it's about, let's be more fulfilled in the knowledge that we do. Or else now, I understand every single day that I say that, I go back to I, because I understand I is more important than we, and fulfilled. I is something much more. But I understand that sex is not the solution with other people. Or else pleasure is not the solution. And that's what Jesus says in the Bible, that you shall not live by bread alone. Or else what is bread? Or else bread is the food, bread. Or else now, what is bread? The food. Or else bread, or else when you eat some bread, or else that's pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Or else now I'll put some peanut butter on the bread. You understand? Or else what? I mean, that's pleasure. I mean, you don't need that. You don't need it. I don't need food to survive and live. Or else I just need information. I need information to grow daily. I need to grow you. I need to grow everybody around me. I understand many people are going around fucking around. Or else they're fucking around now. Or else right now. I understand they're just wasting time. I understand many people want to go to nightclubs to chase women and dance with them dirty. I mean, big deal. I mean, you ladies and gents out there are dancing with guys and girls in a nightclub, dirty style. I mean, wow. I mean, you're such a woman. I mean, you're such a man. I mean, is that how you grow? I mean, that's not how you grow. I mean, that's immature. I mean, that's something that poor people do. I mean, at 60 years of age, I mean, they're going around nightclubs to dirty dance. And then 80 years of age too. I mean, they're starting to dirty dance as well. At 80 years of age, I mean, they're going to nightclubs to dirty dance with women who are much younger than them, and men who are much younger than them, and you have to understand either way, that they're going around at 100 years of age too, in the nightclubs, and they're going to Japan and Spain and Serbia, or else they're going inside all of those nightclubs, and Uruguay and Argentina, and then looking to dirty dance with women and men. I mean, is that special? I mean, understand that you must go grow up, please. I mean, it doesn't teach you nothing. Whereas now, other guys want to go around the whole Australia and the whole world in the brothels. And they want to have sex with every single woman. And that's what they want to do when they turn the hundreds and when they turn 200s. And when they turn 300 years of age, I mean, they still want to go and travel and do all that. Understand? Whereas that's all they actually do in life. Whereas they just go around doing that. And they don't teach you nothing. You understand? Because guess what? I understand I never need to do that to be fulfilled in my life. Understand? Whereas they got no life. I mean, they don't want kids. I mean, they don't want a life. I mean, they don't want legacy, because at 500 years of age, I mean, they're still trying to get to Japan. understand? I realize from 700 years of age, I mean, they're still trying. You understand? I mean, that's all they want. I mean, they don't want you. I mean, they want to go to brothels. I mean, that's what they were interested about. You understand? Because guess what? I realize that doesn't teach anybody nothing. You understand? I understand every single day, I'm making sure every single day I go and teach you right now what I can to succeed. Because I understand that if I go to brothels, I'll then never teach you nothing. And then my legacy will be a shithole. And then you look at yourself at 60 years of age and you'll be like, where did my life go? I mean, you went in the pussy, man. I mean, the pussy. And you went into the fat cock. The fat dicks out there. Understand? Because that doesn't teach shit. Understand? Bro, either way, understand that no matter what, that many women love big cocks. I mean, they love a big cock. I mean, they go all the world to find it. You understand? I mean, they just want one. And then guess what? Or else they get it. And guess what? Or else they go to another one then. And then they go chasing. You understand? And soon, they become crackheads too. And they commit suicide. And people do pornography as well. And they just do porn tapes all day long. Or else they commit suicide very soon. Because they're not teaching you nothing. Or else they're just taking away from life. I mean, they're taking away your time. I mean, they're just losing. You understand? Or else, wow, I mean, big deal. The guy has, or else the guy has big muscles and he has a six-pack and he has 2 women on him. I mean, big deal. I mean, big deal, bro. I mean, big deal. The guy has 5 guys on him. I mean, who cares? I mean, the woman has 2 girls on him. I mean, the woman guy, I mean, they all have threesomes and orgies. I mean, wow. I mean, it's not teaching you nothing. And they chase it. And they're addicted to it. You understand? And then once they become addicted to it, or else that's that. Or else they don't ever become themselves. Or else they don't know the I. Or else they lose themselves in the pleasure. You understand? Or else they have no life and they die before 50. You understand? Because it's not about dying before 50. Because how are you going to do that at 100 years of age? And 200 years of age? And 500 years of age? I mean, how do you plan to do that? I mean, the energy is going to dissipate. You understand? Or will it really? Or else now, energy never has to dissipate. Or else that what you do throughout time is understand that as you grow younger throughout time, because we're young babies, or else that we're going to be 80 years of age, although we're going to walk less around the world, but we're going to stay indoors and take care of ourselves and our body. And we're going to take care of our mental health. And we're going to walk around the CBD of Sydney or whatever. I understand. Although now, at 80 years of age, I realize it's more about public speakers and public gigs and who wants me at their events now. I mean, I have all this nice beautiful showcase of nice beautiful knowledge that I give. I mean, who is up for it? I mean, who's up for me teaching something? Because that's the only passion I have. I have passion to make music. Or is that 100 years of age, I can make 50 million tracks. I can make all these beautiful audios. In my house, I can sit. I don't have to walk around anywhere. I don't have to go around the world. I can just travel in nice, beautiful, in terms of my nice and beautiful audio right here, and I pump up a video and I start teaching you something. Alright, that's fulfilling. I'll teach you something right now. Alright, at 100 years of age, I'll get my selfie stick and I'll teach you something. On my own, I don't need help. I'm still doing my work. Alright, those 9-to-5ers at 100 years of age, I mean, they're retired, man. I mean, they cannot do forklift driving anymore. I mean, they've got no skills to do public speaking. You understand? I mean, at 100 years of age, I mean, they've got no reason to live to 100 years of age now. You understand? Or else they're just forklift drivers. I mean, they're just security guards. I mean, they've got no chance to stand around for 12 hours as a 100-year-old. In terms of never a 100-year-old, but a 100-year young man or woman. Because we're not growing old, whereas we're growing young. Whereas when you turn 100 years of age, I mean, do you have time to sit around in a security section office at 100 years of age? I mean, you do? I mean, how about at 200 years of age? You understand? I mean, how about 1 million years of age? I mean, what's the deal there? You understand? I mean, how are you going to walk? I mean, how are you going to drive at 100 years of age? And it's not old age. Actually, 100 years of age is very young. Because where is the youngness? Or the youngness is in the teaching. Or the youngness is in the teaching every single day. You have to teach it. You have to understand what that is. I understand that 100 years of age, I'd be doing more work than the 9-to-5ers. Because I work 24/7 on my communication skills. I can always communicate, or else it's the best sport in the world. Or else it's the best competition in the world. About who's going to do more than others. Or else who's going to do more than the rest. Or else that's the kind of game that I'm looking for. I compete with you based on who's going to do. I outdo you. I do more information than you. I do more growth than you. I compete with everybody based on growth only. I laugh at everybody when I do more than them. You understand? I laugh at everybody. So make sure every single day you understand that when you do more than me, you can laugh at me. You understand? But guess what? I understand either way. I make sure every single day you understand. I love everything. I love to grow. I love to grow. But the best success advantage is understanding communication skills is the way. And it's not golf. Whereas golf is not the best sport in the world. Whereas it's called communication skills. I understand communication skills is something very important. Because at 100 years of age, I can communicate all day long in my house. I can sit in my accommodation. I can turn up these nice, beautiful seminars for 7 hours and 8 hours and 10 hours. I can just talk about life. Whereas that's how I really live. I never die. I never die in my life. I make sure I go and enjoy my life. I make sure I go, I'm a music producer. I've got 72 years to go and more about music production. I just made my 2020 album, although I still got 2020 to go. I still have another 15 days in 2020. I still make another 3 tracks and more in this period. And then guess what? I realized even throughout time, I have a 2021 album, and then 2022 album. I have all this nice, beautiful music coming up. I have over 50 tracks I made already. It's 50 tracks in 6 years of my life. I made 50 tracks. I understand though that 4 years of the nice, beautiful 6 years, I went away from music. I went to life coach. I went to do something else. So I've been really doing music production for 3 years. You understand? It's been 6 years. I realized from 2014 to 2016, I've been doing music production. And then I left for 4 years. I came back this year. I started to do music production in 2020. I made already 15 tracks this year. You understand? And the last time I made tracks before 2020 is in 2016. Instead, I made 32 tracks back then. Whereas from 2014 to 2016, I made 31 tracks. You understand? I made 15 tracks this year in 2020. And that's that. Whereas there's no 2017 tracks. There's no 2018 tracks. There's no 2019 tracks. 2020 years. You understand? I missed out on a bit. Although I gained in other ways. I went in other ways. I went and became a vegan. I became a vegan. I quit the cigarettes. I quit the drugs. I left the crowd. I went and traveled Australia 90% of the time. I traveled 90% and more. I understand either way, I went around Australia. I visited most of Australia. I went and seen all the main areas of Australia and some other parts that are really popular in terms of tourism. I understand although that I was hit by the coronavirus and I'm here growing more than ever. Because how can a coronavirus do anything to me? I'm a communicator. I grow with my communication, I grow with my knowledge, I grow with something every single day that's really going to help I understand that when I go and have some more peace and quiet, I understand I go and do it in front of a camera, I go and look at myself in the mirror, I go and make sure every single day you go and be much more courageous. I understand that these people who are millennials today, I realize they're going to look at who's the best millennial on the planet. It's the one that's doing the most. Let's just be honest. I'm doing the most right now. I'm a millennial. I'm doing the most out of all the millennials. I understand that there are some millennials who are soccer players and they're actually famous. Or they're soccer players though. Or what are they creating as a soccer player? Or nothing. What are they creating? They're creating some what? What are they creating? What are they going to teach you? What are soccer players going to teach you? Nothing. They never get up on the video camera to teach you anything. They're very stupid people. That's it. They can maybe score some goals. Big deal. What? What does that person teach me about a free kick in life? What does Beckham teach me about a free kick in life? What is he teaching me? He doesn't teach me how to kick a ball. You understand? He doesn't teach me that. That's for his selfish reasons. You understand? I understand he's very excellent. I realize he can really score a goal. I understand. I realize I congratulate you though. I say either way, I understand. I love David Beckham. I love everybody, but he's not teaching me nothing about how he scores goals. I realize that it's not about soccer. I realize it's about business behind soccer, and it's about leadership behind soccer. And it's about confidence and courage and communication skills about soccer. And it's not about playing the game of soccer. I realize it's behind the scenes and how you increase that fitness and the health and the public speaking behind the scenes, and how do you get noticed even more than soccer itself. Because most people become something big in soccer and then they fall and then never recover. And why is that? Because they don't understand communication skills. They don't see how to communicate. Because they believe that fame is score the most goals and outdo everybody in soccer, and I have to score 1 million goals to be somebody. I understand that when I score 1 million goals, I'll score more than that, but I don't have to score it on the soccer pitch. You understand? Or else they do it just on the soccer pitch, and I don't teach you nothing. Or else that Arnold Schwarzenegger is somebody who teaches you something. I understand everybody can teach you something. I understand either way that health is something that you must understand that is very important, because I understand that those individuals who have no health also have no wealth. I understand either way that these nice beautiful bodybuilding weights, I realize they go bodybuilding and they become so big, or else they teach you nothing. I realize women love the big muscles. I mean, what do they love about big muscles? I mean, what's some muscle teaching you? I mean, it teaches you nothing. I mean, that muscle wears out. I was after at 8 years of age, I promise you those guys, they get beaten up. They get beaten up about the gym, and they say, fuck that. Or they don't want to go gym anymore because it's too much suffering. Or it takes away too much time off their life. Understand? Or they have all the body and everything, but they're not famous, or they're not really, or they're not somebody really high reputation. Or they have the big muscles though. I mean, is that the kind of lifestyle you want? You want to have big muscles? You want to have one woman? I mean, big deal. Understand? Whereas now one woman is much better than 50 million ones. Understand? Although guess what? I understand that either way, you must be your own self-guru. You must be your own woman. You must be your own man. I'm my own woman. I'm my own man. Understand? I think like a man. I think like a woman. Although I think like I only. Understand? I go where I am. I understand when I think, I do it. I never think about it, I just do it. Understand? I just go and make sure every single day I make sense much more. I make sure I go communicate in a different way. I go do something different that's really going to help I. I understand that when I look at people right now, I look at them through the knowledge they're giving. I understand when I understand your Instagram, and you never even started Instagram, and you never even started a YouTube channel, I never go to you. Because I already understand who you are. I understand you're doing worse than yesterday. I understand time's not on your side. I understand you've got no business skills to give me. I understand you're not looking good in life. I understand you're a 9 to 5 too. I don't go to people who are 9 to 5ers in life. I go to people who are really financially free and who have something to teach me. So if you're a 9 to 5er, but you have 1 billion hours of video content to teach me, and you're still working a 9 to 5, I'll still come and help you. I'll still come and learn from you, because you've got 1 billion hours, man, of video content. You can teach me something. Even though you're working a 9 to 5, I'm not stupid. Or else 1 billion times you've been on video, I can teach you something. Or else no matter what, you have to understand that those people can teach me something, even if they're working on 9 to 5. Or else you're working on 9 to 5 today. Or else there's plenty of knowledge about how to do so. Or else there's plenty of knowledge on how you can teach yourself how to get away from a 9 to 5 job. But you have to be on video. You have to be on audio. You have to be writing daily. You have to understand, I stay away from the crowd so much because I have no time for them. I have a 24-hour business where I have a 24/7 business. I'm 24/7 working on myself. I have no time to work on them. I have no time to work on other people. Whereas now I started doing this nice beautiful business on my health in terms of weight loss. I started to work on other people. I realized soon enough, I realized that it's not the way to go. I realized that it's not the way to go for me to go accumulate all these people so that I can go work on them. I realized that the only work that you must do is away from other people. I mean, go away from other people. I mean, don't go to people to work on them, because they don't appreciate you. I went and helped all these fat people. You understand? I helped these fat people. I give them this nice, beautiful knowledge about how I lose weight and how I remove the weight in my life. I understand I am still better looking than yesterday. I'm still doing much more, but they are still fat because they don't want to learn and they don't want to grow no matter how much I try. Or else you cannot work on other people. I have to work on myself. I have to get away from them. I have to get away from them, and then they say no thank you. I mean, then I realize they said no thank you. Although I understand now that I went and developed a new strategy. And I said, I mean, screw you guys. I don't want to teach you how to lose weight. I teach myself how to lose weight every single day. I don't teach you anything anymore. I just teach myself every single day. Whereas I don't go teaching other people anymore. I don't go teaching them. I don't go up to them to say, hey, I lost 47 kilos. I help you. Or as they say no. Or as they just say no. Or as I just say, get lost then. Or as I don't want to get rejected by other people. So I just don't go asking questions about yes or no answers, because they all say no about learning. So I just get away from them. Because I understand now, I have a nice beautiful PDF file, and I put it on my nice beautiful Instagram, and I said, this is how I lost 47 kilos, and these are the results, and go for your life. I mean, that's coaching them on their own. Whereas that PDF file that I have in my Instagram teaches them exactly what I eat, and just go and copy me. I mean, go lose weight for yourself. Because I have no time to message you. Understand? And now I found a nice beautiful way where I don't have to message other people. I had 10 clients where I got them for free. I got them for free. And as soon as I tried to charge them, or else they never wanted to give me money, or they understand it's not about charging people anymore, I learned from that as well. And then they want me to message them all the time. I mean, they want me to message them and to chase them up. I mean, they don't want to, I mean, they're so lazy. I mean, they're so lazy to even chase up on knowledge. And then there's another woman that's always chasing up on knowledge, but she's taking away my time. Really. When she is. Although, guess what? Or else either way, or else I found a new way. I understand it's not the way. I understand it's not the way for me to chase them. I understand either way that they're not interested as much about knowledge. I understand that the one that really comes to me for knowledge, I understand I have no time for them anymore. I have no time to message her 8 hours a day about how to do nutrition. I have a family to look after. I have the world to travel. I have something different to do. You understand? I have no time for them. I have no time for them. I mean, by the time I teach her, 8 hours of my life is gone. Although it hasn't really. Whereas now, I can always teach something, but I never have to teach them personally. I never have to go and message them back and forth to teach them. I'll go do it on a video. I'll go do it on audio. I'll go and save up all this nice beautiful material, I'll put it on YouTube and my Mega Drive and my Instagram. I don't have to message you personally anymore. I mean, imagine me teaching you for 10 hours a day. I mean, how about my life? I mean, you're getting what you deserve, but I'm also understanding that I can do something better than teaching you 10 hours. I can go have my own time. I can go love on thyself. I can go eat something and drink something. I can go and do a video and teach you the same aspects of life without having to message you 10 hours back and forth. I can teach you for the next 10 days. I can give you 10 hours of video content over the next 10 hours. Over the next 10 days, I can give you 10 hours of video content. I mean, is that much happier for you? You have to understand, it's much more sense than to message you 10 hours a day. You understand? Because to message you, or else that I have no freedom then. I would have no freedom to message you and 10 other people every single day. Because it's just 10 people, man. I mean, just 10 people. I mean, you're just one person I may be helping in that time. I mean, to message you back and forth for 10 hours, you're just one individual of this whole planet. I'd rather go and teach that knowledge that I may give to you in a video, and then 1 hour of that teaches 50 billion people and more throughout life. I mean, forever. I mean, isn't it smarter to just lay off the internet in terms of talking to other people and just go do you? I mean, it's so much better, yeah? I mean, it's so much better to go and do 1 hour video and post it on YouTube and it's here forever. And people can watch you forever. And you're going to help many people with that video instead of one person who you're messaging back and forth. Or 10 clients who you have to always message them. Because that takes away your time. So I understand that either way I learn from that. I learn from that. I never have to do it again. Because I understand that what's important is understand that most people do not want to learn. I mean, they don't want to learn anything. I understand I always learn, I always grow. I grow myself so much, I'm so much more happier. I'm happier without a woman. I'm happier with or without a woman. I don't care about that. I care about I only. I don't care about I. I care about giving you this information, and that's that. I care about making sure that I go live my life, because I understand you'll never do the same for me. I understand you never give me how much I've given you. You never give me how much I've given you. So I never expect it from you. I never expect this knowledge that you have. I already have it. I'm giving the knowledge right now. I have everything right now. I have all the riches. I don't need to look good in front of other people about my wife. I mean, I don't need to fantasize about that. Because my wife is the knowledge I've given. My wife is the knowledge I've given you. I realize all my riches that I ever have. I realize I don't have a big house. I realize I have everything in my eye. But guess what? I don't need a Ferrari. I don't need a woman. I don't need kids. I don't need a big mansion. I don't need a Trump Tower. I don't need to own Australia and all the land. I don't need to own the world's land. I don't need to have all the plastic money in the world to be rich. I mean, isn't that beautiful? I just have to give you all the knowledge in the world to be beautiful. I mean, that's all my beauty. That's all my beauty. Otherwise, my beauty is the knowledge I'm giving you. I understand that there's this woman. I understand she just goes for materialistic aspects. Whereas when you find a woman or a man who just likes materials, or else they'll cheat on you for another man who has more materials. Understand? Or else now understand that if a woman comes up to me and says, you don't have a Ferrari, but this man does, and she goes to the man who has a Ferrari over my 600 hours of video content and more, and that guy has nothing to teach in terms of YouTube channels, or else she goes for just the Ferrari and not for the knowledge. You understand? So realize that you go for knowledge and not the Ferrari. You understand? Or else now understand that when you have a companion like a dog or a cat or a pony, such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, or else he has 2 ponies in his house. Understand now, realize this. You can have some dogs and some companions along the way, but you have to take care of them. You have to take care of them. You have to be able to just be with yourself. You understand? Whereas now, when you're with yourself, understand that you also have to care for the nice, beautiful pets that you have. I understand either way that I've seen these Japanese people or Asian people, or as they have a puppy and they throw the puppy inside a water tank, and a python just grabs a little puppy and eats it. Oh, that's very sad. I understand either way that you never do that, please. I mean, don't just do that, please. I mean, understand to never go feeding live puppies who are really alive to a python. I mean, that's so stupid. I mean, if you find a dead rat or something like that, do it. But don't do a live puppy that's really alive. I mean, understand either way that you go and do something much greater than that. I understand either way that when ego is something talking, I understand that was ego does in my life. I understand that's what ego is. I understand ego is very depressed about puppies and it's really that I understand what's happening over here. I understand it's really that something that's very sad in terms of life is the ego. So that's my ego right here. I understand that's what my ego does. I realize that either way, understand that it's a natural occurring where you understand that no matter who it is, I love everybody. I love Asian people. I love everything in terms of life. I understand although that my ego just tried to take control of I right here. I understand either way, I'm just making sure that I communicate in a different way because I understand that I must never ever talk about anything that's sad. And so I must not say anything sad about life because I understand that life is not sad. I understand life is something very beautiful. I understand that when I look at an image, or else when I look at an image, I'm always learning about my life. I'm always learning about something different. I understand although that what's different is change up the communication and go into something different. So I'm much happier than yesterday. I'm much happier than what I just said. Why? Because I changed the topic. I didn't stay at the topic of that the python and all that is eating the nice beautiful dog. I mean, and then depressing people just talk about that all day long. And I realize they just talk about all that. I mean, they talk about sad aspects of life all day long. And they're just sympathetic. I mean, they just feel sorry for everything. I mean, don't feel sorry for anything. I mean, I don't feel sorry for anything. I don't feel sorry that the nice beautiful dog died. I don't feel sorry for it. But I understand either way that it's what? Or else is it fair or not? I understand it's not fair. I understand it's not fair. Or else it's not fair to keep an animal in the first place in your tank, such as a python. I mean, don't keep a python in your tank, in your house, because how are you going to travel the world? Or as if you pack up and leave, you have to bring your python along with you. I mean, why? I mean, why would you even bring it with you? I mean, understand to let it go. I mean, you don't own the python. You don't own the dog. You don't own the Ferrari. I mean, just because you get a Ferrari and you drive it, I mean, I realize it doesn't make you cool. I mean, what makes you cool is what you're teaching about the Ferrari. I mean, what are you teaching about the Ferrari? I mean, why is it so good? I mean, if you're just driving it for the look and to show off, I mean, it's not that. I mean, that's not going to help you become anything bigger. Or as a show-offs who just show off, I mean, understand this. Or else when you're showing off, you must be teaching everything about how you actually make everything much better. Because understand that those who actually teach are the ones who are growing. Understand when I grow in an interesting manner. I grow differently. I grow do something different that I've never done before. I make sure every single day I'm happier and happier. But I make sure that I'm not anything else other than I. I'm only I. I'm not that dog. I'm everything. I'm the dog. I am everything. You understand? I make sure every single scenario is broad. I realize when I speak, I go speak in a different way. I give you a nice, beautiful, different information about everything about my life. Understand that everything that's really different is making sure that you must be interesting about life. As I said, you must be interesting. So to be interesting about life is change the subject into something new. So understand that if you go and talk about something depressing like I just did, you understand that I go and take ownership of it right now. Because I understand that what's depressing is something that I must learn to overcome. I must learn to overcome something that I am. Or else that what I am is I. I understand I love my I. Although I go and I overcome the I. I overcome the I in a way I use it all the time. I use the I and I stick to the I every single day. I make sure I go and change up that communication skill every single day. But when 2 or 3 or 4 people are looking at me in a different time length, I understand I go in the middle length and I talk about something different. I change up the subject. You understand? Because what nice, beautiful information I have to give a kid is not necessarily the information I have to give for a woman who's 40 years of age. So I change up the communication so that both aspects of life can come into a new section of my communication. You understand? I realize that when an old woman, in terms of an 80-year-old woman, because she's old and not young, there's a difference, because some people are old and they live an old lifestyle because they don't learn, and other people are new and modern and young, like I am, because I learn, I grow, and the old people never want to listen to the young people, because the old people never want to learn, and the young people who are young at 80 years of age want to listen to the young people. Whereas anybody who's growing younger and they're 100 years of age want to learn even from a baby, and they want to learn even from the dog, and they want to learn even from a 12-year young baby. Understand? Because we're all babies. Although understand that a 100-year-old man, in terms of a 100-year young man, understand either way that all words are I. Or else every single word in the dictionary is I. Understand either way that a 100-year-old woman or man never wants to learn from a 13 young, or else they never want to learn from a 13-year young woman or man. Understand? So realize that anything that's really of age is how you can really say it. You can say it in a tone that you understand that you can always talk about it. You can talk about it in a different way. Although understand that you must be changing that communication to suit everybody in the room. Understand? You must be looking at everything at the one time. You must not just speak to one individual. You must speak to 10,000 individuals who are really at the cinema. Because of the cinema that you make, or else it's called seminar. Understand? Or else that's where public speakers go to public speak, and there's a seminar going on, which is a lecture or a program where you're giving an audio or public speaking event, and you go to watch somebody doing that, is called a seminar. So realize I go to seminars, but I go on YouTube and I find those people who are really understanding about life and they understand to go and teach me something. I go to them because they got something to teach me. Or else when I go and teach myself something about life, I teach it in my journal. I write notes based on what they talk about, and I teach you what they teach I, and I teach it in a different manner than they teach me, because I learned something different than them what, or else I learned something different than what they are teaching I. Or else when you're talking to me for 1 hour, I'll learn something different than what you're actually saying. You understand? Because how is that possible? I realize it's because you're stimulating my ideas. Or else you're giving me ideas, but those ideas feed my other ideas. And then those other ideas is what I put down. And I write those other ideas, and not your ideas. I don't write down your ideas, but when one idea that you say that may catch my eye, I may say, you said that idea. Or else now, what's an idea like that? Or else Jim Rohn says that if you want to work a 9-to-5 job, you work smarter. Or else, although, understand that either way, understand that Jim Rohn goes that way, although a real Jim Rohn quote is something like that it doesn't get easier, you just get better. Whereas now, he said that real line, or else he said the actual line. You see? Or else it doesn't just get easier, or else it doesn't get easier, or else it gets better. You see? I understand either way. Now I'm just making sure that every single day I talk it up. I have to talk it up. I have to talk you up. I realize when I talk up myself, I grow thyself. I grow in myself. I make sure every single day I'm blowing myself in a better way. Understand? Make sure every single day I'm making sure I always do something much more incredible. I understand there's always something much more to do every single day. I understand that when I go and give people attention, I make sure to communicate along the way, because either way that what's important is different communication signals in your tones, and making sure that what you're doing daily is communication skills, which is knowledge. I understand that those people who are poor today are the ones who are not giving knowledge, and the ones who are giving knowledge every single day are the ones to be talked about. And I understand I always will be talked about because I have knowledge to give you in my eye. I understand that I always have a nice, beautiful present moment awareness every single day to understand what I'm giving you. I understand my knowledge. I understand how to really, really act upon what I really say and how to really change that nice, beautiful tone every single day into a new manner, because I understand what divinity is. I understand what God is. I understand how to really understand spirituality. I understand spirituality is growing thyself without materials in terms of materialistic aspects. So I don't care about anything in the outside world. Otherwise, I apologize. I just had to pause the video because I sneezed. Although I understand either way that you do the same, because it's much more professional to do so. I understand although the outside world is beautiful, but I never need the outside world. I never need anything out there. I just need what's inside. I just need to make sure I go inside for that communication signal to give you, because anything in the outside is never motivating what's in the inside. I understand that what's in the inside is something that's really going to grow thyself. I understand either way that this day is working out for me in terms of my life, because I have something to give you now. I have something right now to make sure that every single day that there is a beautiful horizon right now, and it stopped raining as well. I understand because it stopped raining, I'm here much happier. Why? Because I'm giving you this knowledge. I understand this knowledge is something that helps you. I understand when I give you knowledge daily, I understand nothing interrupts me to give you that. I understand there's some trends going on, but I talk over the nice beautiful trends. I talk over people, because when I talk over people, I'm never distracted. I never get distracted by anybody. I make sure to go stay away from them. I already said in this video that I only live alone. I live alone. I live in Q Space Hotel in Chinatown right now, and it's $22 a night. I give $155 to stay in Sydney and do some street performance, because either way, I understand that professional development is key, and me to be in front of people right now, more than ever, at 28 years of age, I understand my real number is I understand either way that I go and develop the nice beautiful communication skills at whatever age, and start doing some nice beautiful early repetition and mechanisms to understand my habits. To be able to do these videos each and every single day is something very important that I do. I must do every single day a video in front of people so that I can grow. I have to grow, because nobody else is going to motivate me, and nobody else is going to encourage me. You don't need to tense your brain. You don't need to tense your brain to speak. You just have to understand to use your feeling and use your heart to speak more and more, and eventually you'll find a nice beautiful strength that you need, which is in physicality and knowledge, to understand that you're very confident to speak without tensing yourself. You don't have to tense yourself. I used to tense myself in Brisbane and Melbourne and Adelaide and all these nice beautiful videos that I used to make in terms of my motivational videos. I make sure these days I'm doing nice beautiful busking videos. I'm doing some 1 hour programs here and there, although with my motivational videos I can still do them. But I make sure every single day I go and do these nice beautiful busking videos either way. Understand? Because I'm always making sure that with my nice beautiful motivational videos is how I really started my nice beautiful journey of public speaking. I have to do all these nice beautiful ways in terms of all these sections about backgrounds, where I went around Adelaide and Cairns and Townsville and everything in terms of my video content. I started to do 1 minute content, and I collect 60 videos and I join it into one motivational program, and then I give you ideas. And it really strikes me that the more I do it, the more confident I am. And here I am doing just 1 hour programs now, and 2 hour programs, and busking programs on the street for up to 6 and 7 hours. I realize either way, I go and do more than that. I'm always doing more than what I can, because I understand how to really grow. I understand communication skills is really important, but you have to grow to communicate. You have to really live to communicate. You have to understand the moment to communicate. You have to understand this moment is I. I is everything. I understand now, because I grow, I always have something more to say, but I'm very interesting about what I say. I understand that when you're really, really wasting time, you're really chasing pleasure. So never chase pleasure, guys and women. In terms of ladies and gentlemen, I understand either way, you make sure you're using every single word in the dictionary. I understand that today, for example, before my nice beautiful public speaking seminar on the street, in terms of street performance, although you can call it just busking performance, you have to understand either way, it's called something of a busking performance, where I just understand to go and do much better than this day. I understand I go and be in front of people, and before I even get to my busking performance, I search up the meaning of every single word, and that's how I learn everything, because busking is a street performance. Although I go busking and understand now, because before I even get there, I'll go and pop up my music or any type of music I made in terms of my time capsule where I live, in terms of my I only live in my IUQ rule, is where I really live, and I live in the knowledge that I give you. I am really rich because of the knowledge I give you. You understand? I have no Ferraris to give you. I have no plastic money to give you. I have no hats to give you. I have no materials of this world to give you because it doesn't help you. I realize it doesn't help you. I realize if I give you $1 billion now, it's not going to help you do anything. I mean, it's not going to help you do anything. You have to understand me that plastic money is not the resort, and plastic money is not value. Whereas nothing in the outside world will talk to you back. Whereas now, I understand people. I understand people out there are not going to grow you either. Whereas you must understand to grow yourself, and that's the only point of richness. Because the only point of richness is how you grow, and not how other people grow. You understand? Whereas I grow differently to you, but understand how I grow is I know my I. I increase that I do the work for myself. I understand that other people will not make it legacy. I will not make your legacy. I will not do the steps for you because I do my own steps. You have to do your own steps because if I do it for you, I gain all the success then. I mean, I want you to go and do your own steps and achieve more for yourself. You understand that? And that's why I'm doing this video because I'm giving you a nice, beautiful motivational technique right now. I'm giving you a nice, beautiful inspiration and knowledge to be able to get you started. You understand? Because why do you get started? You listen to nice, beautiful information to get started first. And understand that motivation is something that intrigues you to go and get started really quickly. And that's a nice, beautiful boost. And for example, and you start the car again and you realize, understand? I realize now I have no ego there because guess what? I realize, understand that. I understand either way that everything is I. I understand either way when you're starting the nice, beautiful engine, or as it gets started, or as it says, and then it may turn off. Although, why is it happening that way? Because you have to keep turning it on and on and on. I mean, what switch is that? I realize it's a knowledge switch. I'm saying you have to turn on the knowledge in your life. I'm saying you have to turn on the light bulb, which is knowledge. You have to understand that when you go to the way of knowledge, realize now your truck is going dun, 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 dun. You understand? Because now you have some fuel. You have some fuel in it. I mean, electrifying. I mean, so much more. You understand? You have to charge up. You have to charge up. So when you're passionate about something. You're passionate about really giving that knowledge that you have. Or else police are passionate about what? Or else policing. Or else what is policing? Or else the knowledge in the police. I mean, what kind of knowledge is that? Or else criminal law and activities and homicide, and they're learning about knowledge, about how to really do their job. I mean, that knowledge is why they're passionate about police force. I mean, they're passionate about what else? I realize about driving and about how the police force is in terms of the behind the scenes and how to manage people, and how to be disciplined and how to train themselves, how to be police officers. You understand? Or else that's what they're training for. Or they're training to work a 9 to 5 all their life. Or else all their life they're training to work as police officers and by the law. Or is it they're following the law? You understand? I understand they're learning about the laws of made up ones, or else it's made up laws. You understand? And some police officers go and kill other people and then they go to jail for the rest of their life. I mean, that's what they work for. You understand? So realize that you never go work to kill other people, and understand that what I work for is helping these police officers understand how to train their systems. I make sure I train police officers and also 9 to 5ers how to really work. I mean, how to really work the 9 to 5 and how to work out of the 9 to 5. I treat my business as a business, information-driven product where all the businesses of the world, or else every single business in the world, comes to my business to feed themselves on the knowledge I have, to become more famous and have more popularity and become the best looking and have the best knowledge and have the best communication skills and also get out of the 9 to 5, but also work the 9 to 5 and also to build the government systems of the world in my knowledge. Because my knowledge is also Jesus' knowledge, and I go and transfer the Bible into that, or else I transfer the Bible into today's knowledge. And then people from relationship sides who are married with other people come to me to solve their problems, and I give it to them in a video. You understand? I give them this knowledge right now. I solve the marriage issues. I solve the counseling careers issues. I solve the schools issues. I solve all the issues because I'm a problem solver. I'm an entrepreneur. I entrepreneur. You understand? I realize my Instagram today has I entrepreneur in it. I understand either way that I'm really taping this video right now. I make sure that this video is recording. I understand either way that I can switch off this video and connect it again, because I understand either way that I'll go try it right now so that I can see is it really recording or not, because I understand either way that I did my best to make sure that this video is recording. So I'll just make sure to pause it and then I'll make sure to go and record again. Whereas now I understand that no matter what that the video is actually recording. So I understand that just before recently I did a 1 hour video. And I understand that the whole recording is just me talking without any audio in it, because my microphone took away the audio. I understand I didn't really understand this. I understand that I didn't understand the knowledge about my microphone and how to place it into the nice beautiful sockets on my phone. And then I recorded 1 hour without audio. And all you see is my face. I mean, how about that? I mean, either way, I learn something every single day about my microphone, and I make sure that this time that the Rode microphone that I have, I never touch it. I never touch it because sometimes I make sure that either way, I make sure to close my phone. I lock it completely. I completely lock it. I completely lock the phone. I make sure I press stop. I switch off in terms of the lock on the screen. I make sure that I have to go and press a password to get back into my phone. And then I make sure to take off the nice beautiful microphone from that point. And then I log back into my phone. And then I go and search up and I turn up the volume of the nice beautiful video, and then I press play on the video and it works. But I make sure that before the video even starts, that my microphone, when I press play, doesn't have some information saying that it's playing the nice beautiful audio through the headset, because when it's playing through the headset of my recording, or else that is a signal to say that the actual audio of my actual video does not work. So I understand that's why that 1 hour video didn't record in terms of the audio, but the video did. You understand? Or else the video you can see me for 1 hour. Although understand that I go and press play in terms of to record, and if no writing pops up in my nice beautiful screen that says no headset, or else that I have a headset, or I understand that either way, that when there's no audio in terms of there is audio, I understand that when there's information that's saying that on the screen as I play my nice beautiful audio, I understand when it says that the audio is playing through the headset, I understand that's when I go and switch off the video again, and then I start off my nice beautiful recording again. And then sometimes it doesn't even show up, or that writing doesn't show up in my video. And that's when exactly that my audio is working, when that information doesn't show up. So now I turned on my nice beautiful recording of this video, and that information didn't show up. So it means that you can hear me now. You understand? Because when it shows up, I have to switch off the video straight away and start it again. Because then after, I make sure that that information doesn't show up. Because I don't know how it happens, but I understand that when I press play, or else that the information shows up into my nice beautiful phone. I understand before it happened. I understand now this time, I understand if it shows up again, I make sure to go and record it in a way that I go and discontinue, and then I make sure to go and record the video again so that that nice beautiful knowledge doesn't show up, because what's important is that you get my audio. I understand either way that audio in terms of that writing may show up again. I understand either way that I'm prepared for it, or that I look for it straight away before I even start my nice beautiful public speaking program or whatever in terms of my recording. I make sure to go and do it, because if somebody else presses my recording and then it says playing audio through headsets, and then I do a 7-hour seminar because somebody else pressed my nice beautiful video because I gave them permission to it, I understand then my 7-hour seminar is for nothing. Now it's not for nothing. I didn't lose the knowledge, but my 7 hours of my life I can never get back. I can always get myself back into a better, okay, I can do anything. I can always get my 7 hours back in a different way. Although understand this, or else I'd rather teach in that 7 hours something. In a sense, so I never go telling other people to go and press my recording on my phone. I go do it myself. I set up the phone to make sure I do everything myself today. I do everything myself these days. But my systems in terms of what I teach is all different. I'm always teaching something different in my nice beautiful knowledge. And communication is everything. You have to understand that communication is power. Whereas communication is consistency and dedication and empathy and drive and determination and motivation and discipline. I understand it's everything. I understand everything, or as everything is understanding that all the businesses of the world come into my business to feed themselves upon knowledge on how to be great and how to have a celebrity status and how to really have the talents in place and how to grow the knowledge and how to grow thyself and how to know themselves and how to love themselves while they're doing the 9-to-5 job and while they're continuing with their families, and how to really live life on Jesus Christ's terms, and also how to live on their terms and how to find the direction and how to really find the purpose. I realize everything comes into my audio. You understand? I give it for free. I always have business. I always have customers. I always have people who are really my fans and really people who really want to learn. I understand with or without you that the world will go on. And my knowledge here will always be here teaching something. So either way, I make sure that every single day that it's not about the fame. I don't care about the fame. I care about just learning and growing. Whereas the fame comes easily. Whereas fame and interest and famousness in terms of being a celebrity and having a great status comes naturally. Otherwise it's natural. Otherwise you just have to grow daily. You have to out-level yourself. You have to do more than yourself. You have to do more than thyself. Every single day. You have to make sure every single day that you're more appropriate and that you're more nicer and that you have a greater attitude than yesterday. As I understand, it's much that I realize it's so much more important that when you live life to the fullest, you understand why you're actually breathing. I realize when you're breathing much more to the fullest, you understand your feelings. Whereas your feelings is knowledge. So understand every single day you go and change up your tone, and or else you change up your tone in a different way, or to understand to know thyself. Or else know thyself means know I. I love you. I understand every single day I speak it. I go and play my music on the street of Sydney. I make sure I go and listen to a new tone inside of my portable speaker, and I understand which music to play and which music never to play. You understand? I understand that when I do my mashups now in terms of my music production, I go and make sure that I go and place music where other music makes sense to place the music. In a sense, so I make a beautiful mashup of my music in terms of how can my set be the best kind of set with the best kind of moods. Understand? Because when I make a certain track, I make sure I place that track in a certain spacing on my music set. I understand either way that I do this now. I do this now all the time, and I'm making sure either way that I have a structure now in terms of my music production in a different way, or to understand that when I have a structure in my music production, I have a structure about life. I have a structure about how to grow simply and straightforward. And it's really easy to grow. I promise you, it's really easy to become successful, and it's really easy to get the lifestyle you want. I promise you, it's really easy, but you have to learn, you have to grow. I promise you, now everybody has to learn and grow, and you have to write and read, and you have to show yourself on the camera, and you have to be somebody inspirational. I promise you, you have to be that individual who 50 billion people are looking at and more. I promise you, it's that simple. I promise you, it's simple to do that. Although you have to understand, you have to write more. I promise you, many people don't have their journals. I promise you, I see many people today in terms of these skateboarders today, I understand them, although they have, let's say, a persona, or I realize they need a better persona. I understand that you listen to me. I understand that they are somebody who need to give that knowledge. I realize I do more knowledge than them. I understand either way that when I give more knowledge than you, I understand you have poorer habits than me. Understand? I understand poor individuals never want to learn. Or as poor individuals want to use you only. I realize they only want to make sure that you got nothing. Understand? So realize to go around the people who are giving you something every single day, because what's important is every single day, understand that communication is much more important than anything else in the world. I understand every single day I'm not blind, although I understand that my nice beautiful eyesight is here, and when I look at the nice beautiful video here and then I look at long aspects, I realize it gets blurry a bit because I've been looking at something close, and then when I look at this way I realize it's more in distance and then it becomes blurry. I understand either way that's just natural. I understand I'm not blind because I have communication skills. I realize that even if I go blind today, I understand how to really understand my communication skills and how to really talk about what I really talk about. I understand when I talk about something different, I make sure to feel about how I am in life. Whereas when I'm feeling nice and beautiful and sexy right now, I understand I feel much more dedicated about what I do. I understand I feel much more empathy, I feel much more leadership and success. I have more to give you every single day, so I'm always much more passionate and driven. I understand every single day I'm supporting myself in thyself every single day. I understand here I can do this nice beautiful content for as long as I like. I understand though that the time is now. I understand every single day I have more time to do something, although it's 7:30 right here in Australia in terms of Sydney, which is the time is now, although I understand it's still daytime right here. I understand anyway, I understand every single day that I'm always learning about the nice beautiful structure of the weather and everything outside of me in terms of my eye, although I understand that the only aspect of life that I have to learn about is my eye. There's nothing else. I just have to learn more about how to use my eye. I understand when I use the eye, I use how to communicate every single day in a different way, or I use it in a different manner, and I do it in a different way. I understand that 9 to 5 jobs are really something that take away your time. I understand it takes away your time so much that they don't let you do, or they don't let you use phones, and they want you to learn the 9 to 5 job rules in terms of their warehousing rules, and they want you to stay like that. And I understand that if I went to a warehousing today I understand I have to learn how to be a manager right away. And then once I learn how to be a manager, I can go and step up as a CEO of the company. Or else now, once I step up as a CEO, or else once I step up as a CEO, or else once I step up as a CEO of the company, I understand that's the only way I can just be from that point. Although, I still have to work over there. I still have to work for that individual who made me a CEO. Although, who just done that? I did. I made myself a CEO of the company. Although, I'm already a founder. I'm a founder right now. I don't have to be a CEO. I'm a CEO. I'm an employee. I'm a manager. I'm also the boss. I am the founder and the CEO of my company right now. I don't need other people to qualify me as a CEO of a company. I don't need to be their CEO. I'm already a CEO. You get it? I don't need other people to qualify me in life. Although understand me now that if I went to a 9-to-5 job today, I rise the charts really quickly. I rise it really quickly. I dominate the scene. I start going to 9-to-5. I realize that if I start going to 9-to-5, I understand it's really, they understand every single day. At this time, I understand there's a nice beautiful fire truck that's really going by. But guess what? Did I stop my audio? I didn't stop my audio this time. But before, I understand that the police came through the same way. And I stopped my audio to make sure they understand that it broke my heart to stop my audio because something else is happening outside of me. I understand that what's more important is I talk over the fire engine. I talk over it. I talk over the police sirens because I don't care about what they're doing. I don't care about them and their life. I don't care that they are going to save the world because I'm already saving the world now. You understand? I'm saving the world now. I'm saving it through my information. But it means that I never have to go hurt other people. I never have to kill other people to save the world. You understand? Or else now understand this. Understand that if you have any type of hurt in you, you have to understand that anybody who attacks you, you must look at Jesus Christ and understand to let them attack you fully and let them kill you and let them stab you. But understand this, that it's the only way to be. Or else the only way to be is never cause violence in the first place. Understand Jesus will never ever come to really physically help you. You understand? Or else Jesus will never come helping you physically. Although understand that Jesus will help you emotionally and spiritually. Understand that when my son, or else if my son, in terms of when my son or when my daughter or anything in terms of that nature gets attacked by other people, I will not be there for them. I will not be there for them physically. You understand? I don't do it for them physically. Because what's physical aspects of life? Or as physical aspects of life is material aspects of life. My skin is a material. Or as my skin is part of this world. Or as now, anything that's physical, I don't help the physical world. I don't help the physical world. I help the spiritual world. Or else if my son's getting stabbed in front of me, I will just allow it. I have to allow it, but understand me now. You have to understand me now. That it's the best to do so. You have to understand why. You have to understand why. Because I allow it, I'm much more spiritual now. I'm much more spiritual. I open the gate. And I encourage you to say the same thing and find out why. I need you to understand why that's so important. Because it's not about their life. Or it's not about their life and them getting stabbed and saving their life through physicality. So in terms of physicality, or else what I have to do is I have to go grab him and I have to slam him and I have to kill him so that I can win. Because my son was getting stabbed. Or else then the police put you in jail. Because no matter what, they don't care about you. You understand? Or else the physical world doesn't care about you. Or else the physical world doesn't talk back to you. Or else what talks back to you is the spiritual world. Or else the spiritual world is something that talks really. Or else the Bible is spiritual. Or else the Bible is full of information. And that talks really loud. I'm talking really loud with my audio. But if my daughter is getting stabbed in front of me, and somebody's getting shot in front of me, and somebody's about to throw a bomb next to me, you have to understand, I will make sure to run away. I'll run away. I'll let my son be stabbed. I'll let my daughter be stabbed. I'll let the wife be stabbed. Understand? I'll let it happen. I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that. I can do anything. I'm just not ever denying. I'm never denying, because anything that's denying wants to go and grab them and kill them too. Understand? So realize that Jesus said to his disciples and said, "Don't save me when they kill me." I mean, why did he say that? Because the same way I say to my nice beautiful video over here is I will not save my son if he gets stabbed either. Or is that who saved Jesus? It doesn't on the cross, because Jesus doesn't want you to save Jesus on the cross. Well, Jesus is getting killed, or Jesus will tell you, don't save me. I will not save my son either when he gets stabbed. Or else now, who said that my son is going to get stabbed in the first place? I mean, who said I will have a son? I mean, who said that I will have a daughter? I. But guess what? I realize I don't know about that. I only know I. I don't know if I'll have a son or a daughter in this planet. I just know I. Or else if somebody is getting killed in front of me, I will not help them. I will not help them. Because to save their life is to mean that I may get killed. I don't want to kill my life. Or else if you go helping Jesus on the cross and trying to save Jesus, or else you get killed too. Or else don't help them. Or else if Jesus is your son or daughter, I mean, understand, and they're killing Jesus right now, and in front of you. And Jesus said, don't save me. I mean, you're going to save him? You don't save him. You don't save him. Even if it's your son and daughter. I mean, that's what the knowledge of God is. You have to understand. It's really, understand that Jesus said to the disciples, don't save me. So if that's your son up there on the cross, and Mary understands, and understand me now, that those Pharisees do not understand who Mary is. I promise you. Either way, understand me now, that they may have found out or don't know. I promise you, it's totally secret that Mary, in terms of what happened, in terms of what happened in the Bible, is Jesus' mother. Although realize it's everything in terms of life that it's exposed right now in terms of life. Whereas everything's exposing right now. But understand that the Pharisees are unaware right now in terms of the Bible, of God, in terms of Jesus, that Mary is Jesus' mother. You have to understand, otherwise, what happens? I realize it's really that they all are aware. Whereas they all are aware that Jesus, Mary, in terms of Jesus and Mary, in terms of Mary, that Mary is the mother of Jesus Christ. Although Jesus Christ is his real mother. Well, Jesus Christ is the mother of Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is the father of Jesus Christ. And I am my own dad. I am my own mum. I am my own son. I am my own daughter and cousin and mother and everything. I am my own incest. I am my own everything. So realize everything. That you must understand that Jesus doesn't want you to save other people physically. Because what did Jesus say to the disciples? I realize Jesus said, don't save me if they're trying to kill me on the cross. Because that's physical realm. Because if you're trying to do anything physically, you have to go and grab the pole and then you have to hit them, because that's physical. But God's untouchable. Whereas God doesn't want you to touch him. Whereas God doesn't want you to touch her. Because what is God? You don't know what God is. You don't know if God's he or she. You don't know that. You don't know that. I mean, you don't know that Jesus is male or female. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know if I'm male or female. I mean, you may look like a male. I mean, how? I mean, how do you look? I mean, how am I a male? I'm not a male. I'm just I. I'm just I. I'm not male. I'm not female. I mean, you don't know really what I am. You understand? You don't know that. You don't know if you're male or female. You have to understand that nothing is to be known in this world except I. I only know I. So realize now that if your son or daughter is getting stabbed, that's the physical realm, and do not help them. I mean, do not be there for them physically. I mean, be there for them spiritually. And now, spiritual is anything that's information driven. But understand Jesus Christ here, when he says to the disciples, don't help me physically. I mean, don't help me on the cross, because if the disciples try to gain war over these people, or else they all get killed. Physically. Or else now, to kill anything in this life is physical. I mean, don't do physical aspects of life. Because anything that's killing today is physical material. Understand? Or else what's material? Or else anything that's physical today is touching the world. Or else now, I'm not physical, but guess what? I realize my skin can touch something. Or else now, anything that's not touching this world is eternal. You understand? Or else now, Jesus is putting a nice, beautiful gesture here that you understand that spirituality is something that you cannot touch. So what can you not touch, or else what can you not touch in this world? You must understand that music and audio and video, in terms of this image, is untouchable. In the silence, you cannot grab it. I can grab anything, although really, I mean, I'm untouchable. I'm untouchable. I realize the silence of my life. I realize the silence, you cannot even touch it. I mean, you may be touching it right here. I mean, maybe you're touching the silence. I can do anything. Although realize, anyway, that the silence is untouchable. And so is the air that you breathe. I realize there's air and silence and words and images. I mean, that's that. I mean, that's eternal life. I mean, that's something that's God, and that's untouchable. And that's something that's always going to be with us. And understand now that when you're living really life, I realize when you're living life really, you never do anything in the physical world. I mean, never grab the cigarettes and never touch anything. I mean, never touch anything. I mean, don't even touch yourself. I mean, Jesus says, do not pleasurize yourself. I mean, to pleasurize yourself is of this world. Or as anything that's living by bread alone is touching themselves. I mean, masturbation is touching themselves. Or else it's also anything to do with what? I mean, it's also food and drink and drugs and touching other people and touching objects. I mean, don't touch anything because you don't own this world. I mean, that's the whole teaching of the Bible. You understand, anything that's really not touching this world is God. Whereas now I know I only touch I. Whereas now what is I? I is everything. I is everything because I go where the I is. I go where the I know my I. I understand now. I realize now I'm much more open. I'm much more spiritual because I understand that the physical realm is not here for me. Whereas the physical realm is not here for me. I realize everything I see is not here for me. Whereas what is here for me? I is here for me. I is here for I. I is more important than what's out there. You understand? Because this phone is not going to help me. I help the phone. I realize that individual there is not going to help me. I help them. You understand? I am a leader this way. I don't look for the outside world to help me. I go help the outside world. Understand? Whereas now, you have to understand that nobody else can help you other than you. Whereas every single day you go and grow up, every single day to go and do something, you learn something more about the video that you do. You have to understand it's really that the knowledge about your life is different every single day. You have to go and inspire yourself daily to go and do that content daily. Because every single day I go and learn something new about life. I understand today I looked myself in the mirror and I said I'll never hit people back if they try to hit me. Because I understand it's not about the physical world. I understand it's not about the spiritual world. I understand it's not about anything other than accepting what's happening. Whereas when you accept, you forgive and you give. Whereas now that's all that Jesus does. Although I understand either way, you must grow. I understand if anybody wants to steal my possessions, I mean go. You'll never steal my eye. You can never steal my eye though. You have to kill me then. Whereas now what did they do with Jesus? I realized they killed Jesus. Whereas they killed Jesus because they were trying to steal God from God. You can never steal God from God. You can never take away God from life. You can never take away your eye. So what happened? Well, Jesus just went away. Jesus went away, but the eye is still here. You can never take away God from God. You can never take away you from you. You can never take away your eye. And that's why Jesus says, don't take away your eye. But I understand either way that now I understand much more about life. I understand now much more about materialistic aspects and also the nice, beautiful spiritual realm that I live. I understand I live in the spiritual realm. I understand most women live in the materialistic realm. I understand most women don't want a spiritual man. I realize they want a materialistic aspect. I realize they want something that's ego. Whereas anything that's ego is materialistic. I understand men also mostly live in the spiritual world in terms of the actual materialistic world. Whereas most men live in the materialistic realm. I live in the spiritual realm. I'm the most spiritual today. I realize anybody that's the most spiritual today is one that's the smartest. I'm the smartest human on the planet because I understand the spiritual aspects of life. I'm very spiritual. I'm very rich like that. I'm very much a Super Saiyan God. I'm something much greater because I understand that this world is just the beginning. I understand this is just something of a test. So you understand that there's a better world than this world because Jesus says there is something better than this world. I'm not from this world. You understand? Whereas Jesus is teaching something that there is eternal life and that there's something greater than this world. You understand? Because I understand when I say there's something greater than this world, I mean that you will never be reincarnated into this world again. I mean there's another world. I mean there's another world here. I promise you, once you do your work here, you will go with Jesus Christ somewhere. I promise you, there's always, I mean anything that you can imagine, I mean God can do it. I mean, whatever you're picturing in terms of life and whatever answers you're wanting to deliver, I mean, yes, I mean, God can do it. I mean, yes. I mean, there's a heaven, and you're going to be on the cloud with Jesus. I mean, yes. I mean, everything. I mean, believe in that. I mean, yes. I mean, that's a revelation of God. You have to understand every single day, there's always something more to say and more to be. But today, I'm very much happier in terms of life. I'm happier than ever because I understand something very beautiful. I understand my spiritual realm. I understand now I don't have to help the outside world. I help the inside world. I never helped the outside world. I never helped the outside people. I never helped the people. I helped my spirituality. I helped my spirituality grow. Whereas now, what did Jesus do? Whereas Jesus is teaching spiritual realms so that Jesus can grow. Whereas when Jesus can grow, you can grow too. Whereas now, Jesus is teaching so Jesus can grow. And that's how you grow. You grow through teaching yourself. I grow through teaching myself. Everybody grows through teaching themselves. I understand when you grow, I realize everything in terms of words, and this life is I. I simplify every single word into I. I understand I is the most important word in life. I understand now I always make sure I do this because I understand my ego is non-existent. I never go in the outside world for anything. I understand the outside world is not something that I have to do in my life. I understand that what's important is I go now. I go I know I. Whereas that's the only aspect of life that you must deliver. But make sure you guys understand that you tune in and understand every single day I post these videos. I understand no matter what that this video is nicely done. I understand either way that I go and perform something different, I make something different and I show up in a better way. I'll see you guys in the next video.